What is up, everybody? Welcome to Chalkedcast number 4. We have an amazing group of people here tonight. Some top tier analysts in Asfira, chilling, ready to go. Sorry, I had to.
Shade in the intro.
Yeah, right off the
Wow.
bat. Yeah, I couldn't tell you it was coming.
In my head, I had a feeling. I was like, "And as for
well, look, I'm here too. Like, I just watch. I just do viewing parties and stuff.
yeah.
So, me and you were basically in the same boat. So you got me here, top left. Top middle is Corelli. Top right is Hootie Hoo. Bottom left is Asfira. Bottom middle is Johnny Boy, and bottom right is Jorby. So, got a like I said, God Squad of a cast today. We wanted to switch it up a little bit to see, or to really like get the topics really flowing, at least compared to last week, where I have some topics actually written down, and then I think towards the end we'll probably just take a few things from chat. If you guys have any questions or whatever, that will probably be an easier way to keep like stuff on topic as well.
Love it.
Cool.
Sweet.
Hit
And
me with
actually,
the
so many of the topics just came up in the stream call.
Yeah, as we were just sitting here
proud.
chilling.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just how good the topics are for today.
Yeah, we could just get into the first one, which is the Regional 6 that just happened. Well, I guess what is it? 2 weeks ago now? Feels so long. I'm used to doing these after
It was actually, yeah.
right after the event, but a few things. V1 actually took a dub. Queso became the 2-time, and SRG became the 6-time, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think first and foremost we should probably talk about V1 though, and how they came to dub, for lack of a better term.
I was hoping this would happen for V1 when they picked up Beast Mode. Like I thought that was an incredible pickup for them. And I thought it would help Calm be better, and Calm has been a lot better too. He looks a lot more comfortable. And I think V1 are like, they're one of those teams that I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking for the major, but I think they could surprise some people on LAN. I'm happy to see them perform well though. It's cool that, Torment gonna make another major. He's still kicking somehow.
Have you
Yeah,
done your
Jorby, you
predictions
were
yet?
big on the V1 train early, weren't you?
I
he
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
I was real big. I was real big on the V1 train for
Shout
sure.
out Tommy.
Jorby, did you do your predictions yet for the major?
No, I have not done them yet.
Okay. 'Cause
Probably
you say that, you're
later.
like, I think a lot of people are sleeping on for the major, but I want to see.
Well,
you
I've
back
watched
it
other
up.
people's predictions. I've seen other
Like, I
people's
would-
predictions. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see you back it up. I want to see you put them in
Okay.
a deep run.
Okay. All right.
He's just gonna put them in first place now you said that. He's gonna have them win the whole thing.
Win the whole damn thing.
Because, yeah, everybody's sleeping on him.
Yeah.
Not me.
Out in groups.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had V1 losing to Furia or something, so V1 fans probably hate me right now.
You're really high on Fury.
Wait,
right
so
now.
did I. Hold on.
I love Furia, yeah. Me and Johnny, we
Same
got
with
it,
me.
man. We got
Oh,
it.
wait, Johnny, did you also pick Fury to beat NRG?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait,
That was
Did
that was
I?
Corelli's.
Yeah.
no, I didn't do that.
I've been
one.
talking about the Furia NRG matchup a lot, but they matched up in my bracket, V1 and Furia. I put Furia there. I like
Interesting.
Furia. But I mean talking about V1, I mean that was an incredible run. So I mean, as Jorby and I always say when we do like our power rankings and stuff like that, like I think everyone knew that V1 had that potential, but how often can they actually hit that is really the question. So
Will they
we'll
win
see.
another regional in the spring?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, sure, it's great that you did that, but let's see some consistency, right? Because they were so like
I think
blocked.
they can.
So I think they can too. Do they win another regional? I think they can.
Yeah, will they? Will they win one?
Yeah, I think the only two teams really standing in their way are G2 and NRG. I think they could trade with FaZe. I think they could trade with Space Station.
I was about to
but
say, you
definitely
don't-
worry
yeah.
about.
You kind of left out FaZe and SSG there.
No. I'm saying, well, okay, yeah. I'm saying the version 1 would trade with them more often, and gatekeepers would actually be G2 and NRG from having them like win a regional. Like if you run into either of those two teams, I wouldn't pick any other team above those two right now with how they've looked.
Okay, that's fair. I'll have
But
to
I
agree.
can't say the same about FaZe or Space Station, you know. So
Well,
Yeah, I
see,
don't-
the problem for V1 is I don't think they are so far behind on overall points. I don't think they can crack the top 3 this event that's coming up, the major. Because G2, FaZe, and NRG all have over 2,000 points, and V1 have 1,271.
Oh,
So they're
wow.
not going to catch up. They're way behind. That means that they're going to be either like at best 4th seed, or at worst like 5th, I think.
And I mean, you don't even know, like, with the way it's going right now, just going off the fall major, 4th seed might be the last out of qual spot for an NA team, and the 5th seed could get left
Yeah.
out. So
Well, just remember the next format is double elim. Like everybody's been complaining about like the groups. Well, now it's just double elim. So V1 like you
Oh,
lose
yeah.
once, they're on their final life.
You can't
so,
complain about groups anymore. It's just
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the most brutal format, and they're not going to be a top 3 seed. There's no way. So it's already going to be quite tough.
Oh,
like they'll
yeah,
face
I didn't
that
even
Space
think about
Station
that.
before. Like think about it. If it's SSG or a 4th or 5th seed alongside V1, which is likely, then V1 Space Station will be in a collision course before any of the other like top 5 are. Like they'll all be against teams like Envy, Oxygen, Complexity. Meanwhile, V1 and Space Station are playing each other, so it's a bit harder.
Oh,
to be fair, I
wow.
don't even think
get a
Space
coin flip
Station and
it.
V1 have happened that much. So I mean, I don't really know what the sample size is on that, but I'm pretty sure they've only played like once or twice at the most.
I guess the point is like they'd have to get through Space Station and then 2 of the other big 3 teams.
Yeah.
that group is
Whereas
No,
the
I'm
big
with
3
you,
only
I'm
have to
with
go
you.
through like 1.
yeah.
Right.
They just have to beat like 1 or 2 of them, 2 of each other. Yeah, I don't think V1 will win again. It's hard. It's hard from 4th or 5th seed.
I think
That's true.
Now that
It's
you
just with... Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Rizzo, speak in your own
Speak on your own stream, buddy.
Go ahead.
I was like, I think now that you put it that way, with like the double elim and stuff like that, how they're just gonna constantly run into each other, it seems just so unlikely that they're actually going to win again.
It'd
It's
be
like,
very
I mean,
impressive.
and like
Very
NRG,
impressive.
I mean, even FaZe are second in points, which is still. It doesn't seem like they should be. Like they've had consistent placements, but you know, like the lack of
Yeah.
wins makes it seem like they shouldn't be there for some reason to me. But it's like FaZe is gonna get fairly easier draws here as well, and just like being able to get to the finals.
It's
I
like
don't know,
2
it's such
extra
a big
rounds.
confidence boost.
If you lose an upper bracket quarterfinal, which an upper bracket quarterfinal, if it goes according to seeding, would be V1 Space Station. If they lose that, they have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches in a row in the lower bracket final just to make the final, and then bracket reset the final. So it's crazy. It's tough.
Well, I guess my feels fact is wrong because I was looking at the Space Station version 1 matchup. They've only played against each other once. Space Station swept them, and they're actually 3-0 against G2 in the winter split. So not exactly consistent results, but definitely very matchup dependent. So I actually think that I mean, one match is not a sample size really worth that much, right? But still, an inkling about how hard, more of an inkling how hard that group's going to be for them.
I think it's still so hard to tell too, because a lot of these rosters are relatively new, you know, like with the addition of just at least one new piece into the roster. So, you know, they're all just with more time, you would anticipate better performances, better chemistry and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see what they can bring in the spring.
Are you saying from like they're still so new, like because of what we saw in the winter major? Or are you saying like in spring they're still so new? Does that
No,
make sense?
well, just like after the fall split, we had that trade window in NA, which was just so, well, it just seemed kind of wacky, right? Where Daniel got thrown into the mix, Beast Mode to V1.
Yeah.
Even G2's a new roster, FaZe a new roster, and obviously we have a split under our belt, but I feel like a lot of these teams still have room to grow as a unit, you know.
Yeah, I got you. How long do you think like any roster would take to actually, like, I mean, you're saying, you know, it's going to take a while for them to gel or mesh or whatever. But how long do you think it would possibly take to even get to that point where you're like, yeah, this roster's been together long enough, they shouldn't be having these issues, or, you know, something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at the end of this season, if there's a team that's still struggling, like FaZe is yet to win an event or something, then I think you can start to draw those conclusions. But after, you know, just after one split, and I definitely don't, you know, I think we've seen all these teams, V1 and G2 and even FaZe, make strides towards a better performance like than the first event. So I think they've already improved in some ways, but I feel like they still have room to grow, basically. So I just think it's kind of hard to predict the spring, but I agree with what you were saying about what Johnny was saying about the double elim. It's just going to be so brutal, and when you're not a high seed, you're going to have tough matchups from the jump. So that lower bracket's it's just going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch double elim. I'm so excited for that. I guess it's probably as like a viewer, like if I was playing, I would be so mad. But just like I don't know. I feel like just even getting the chance of like seeing an upset like that, or I just feel like double elim, there's just a higher chance of like a team just fluking out or whatever. Which I think it's obviously horrible for the team, but I'm just like, dang, like that's crazy, and it makes me want to watch it. I don't know.
It's fun to watch those lower bracket runs too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Knowing like this team's every team in the lower bracket only has one life left. Just constantly seeing them fight for it. It's so sick. It's so sick.
That's gonna decide, like, imagine as well at the end of the season, like the last double elim regionals, not just deciding major, but also like potential for worlds for some team.
Yeah.
Oh my
playing
god.
For worlds in the lower bracket.
Johnny, stop. Oh my god. This is like my wet dream. Seriously. This is crazy.
Oh man. That was gonna be so good. Soon.
It's definitely gonna be intense.
Yeah, wait, when does the spring actually start?
There'll be like I think a 3-week break after the major.
Yeah, it's in May. So far away.
Wait, is it really all the way in May?
It is in May.
Yeah, it's like right before May, like end of April. And then it ends.
It's always like that massive
of
gap.
course, because I'm thinking like we're gonna be
Which
before now, but it's not.
We need those month-long breaks to help with tournament fatigue and.
Well, see, the funny thing is, right now everybody's thinking, no, that's too long, and then as soon as the transfer window starts, the teams will be like, this isn't long enough. We need longer.
We need at least 2 more weeks. Every 2 weeks.
Can't win. If you're Psionics.
Wait, Joey, are you saying that like the breaks are too long, or are they too short?
No, I didn't say that. I just said that we need them because there's a lot of fans out there that are feeling tournament fatigue. So having a long break between splits, helps you recharge, refuel, and make you wonder why you wanted a break at all.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me with like. I don't understand like what is like I understand it, but what is viewer fatigue? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of phrase is that? Like, if you really just enjoy watching something, wouldn't you just?
But it could be too much though. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
like if you watch it every day, I don't know.
Well, have you ever watched something that you really liked it, and then the amount of that you think you liked increased, and then you watched more of it and you thought, oh, this is too much, and you stopped watching entirely, or did you just go back to how much you liked watching before?
That's a good. I don't know. I don't know really. I don't think so. That's never happened to me, but I don't know.
Are you saying you take a break from it and you come back and you love it as much as you did before? Is that what you were saying?
Well, I'm trying to apply this because I can't relate to this. Like Rizzo's asking, what is that like? I'm kind of in the same.
It's like
vibe. I can't relate to it.
It's like I mean, I think what you're saying is like if you had chocolate cake every single day, right? Like you kind of get sick of chocolate cake after a while.
Oh
so
yeah, if everything
you stop eating chocolate cake, eventually you're gonna want chocolate cake again.
Well, I don't like chocolate cake, so that point is
all right. Whatever. Whatever it is that you like eating.
So your point kind of sucks there because it just doesn't relate.
I'm curious if it's less of like an individual thing and more on like the in the grand scheme of things when you have so much that it like there are people that just are going to become disinterested, or maybe it's just so much that I don't know. I'm with you guys. I don't really understand it. I want as much Rocket League as possible, but
yeah,
I just feel like there's no like variation. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to put it in words, but if you're watching sports, there's something that happens different almost every game. Maybe the star player is not playing, or like maybe there's I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like an injury or like a brawl?
Something
Yeah.
because like
I'm
Rocket
not
League
thinking
is
like
always
NBA.
yeah,
to say,
like
Minus
Rocket
today,
League.
he's not playing.
It's always
Yeah.
3-3. Everyone is on an even playing field, which is not bad, but it kind of like it's never different though. You know what I mean?
Like when Reynolds got fined, like that was funny. Is that what
yeah,
you're
so
saying?
that was lit.
That was crazy.
That really
Yeah.
was, yeah.
That was
The
lit.
first killer NRG beef that
Like,
got me going.
Yeah,
Like, that's
okay,
the hardest
so-
I've been glued to my phone all
So,
season.
so you like the drama. You're there for the
But like
for
in
the
other
engagement on
esports,
Twitter, that's what
for
it is.
example, like in Valorant, different agents, it changes the whole game. It's not like you're watching
Right.
Brim versus Brim every time. But like,
I don't know. Like I think about hockey, because that's the sport I watch the most, and
Yeah.
I don't watch every hockey game. You know what I mean? Like I do catch, I do try to catch a good bit of them. Lately, haven't really been watching a lot, but when I was watching a lot, I didn't really get fatigue, I'd say, and I'd still see the same players play almost every night. You know,
Yeah.
the same guys would be getting 30 plus minutes ice time. And like, yeah, there are more players involved and stuff like that, but the flow of the game is still the same every time, but you still have the tension of, oh, is our goalie going to be good tonight? Because he wasn't good last night. And I think there are a lot of similarities there with Rocket League. Like if you know a player, like Gimmick's been struggling, right? Has a change of environment, goes to Oxygen, new roster. It's still struggling. Oh, now he's doing well after he's played like 1,000 times, you know. But like every time you watch Oxygen, they look a little different. So I think that fatigue, in my opinion, is you're trying to watch everything all the time, and even I don't watch every single game, every single match. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But like I still watch a lot. I can't relate to it either, specifically because I don't get the fatigue. But I mean, my thing is like I don't watch every regular season game in regular sports. So why should you watch every regular season game in Rocket League? You know, you
Okay,
don't have
I've got a question. What
That's
about
actually true. Yeah, that's true.
what about like so all of these other sports, they all have everybody has a team in them. What about like I don't know how NASCAR works. Does it work like Formula 1 where you can watch every race?
You just want to watch your favorite sponsor. I root for the McDonald's car, actually.
Can you in
I actually have no
NASCAR
idea.
watch every race? I don't know because I haven't
know,
watched
I've
it before.
never
But
I don't know
is it
how.
the same?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I just thought I'd ask since it's like it's really late and maybe people watch that more than. You guys watch F1? Anyone here?
No,
No Formula One
nah.
viewers?
I don't watch
So
any
you-
I don't watch
motorsport.
F1 either.
You can watch every race is the point I was going to get at, and you can feasibly consume all the content in that sport, and it's one of the biggest sports in the world, and
Hmm.
it's built in a way that you can watch it all. And
Is it
you know-
because like what's the length of time between each event? Like a month or like how?
no,
I
sometimes
know it's like a
sometimes
circuit,
every
right?
weekend, sometimes every weekend, sometimes every like there'll be 2 weeks off because they've got a larger distance to travel. Like if they're going from like a place in North America to South America, they're probably going to take 2 weeks, or like
Hmm.
Europe to North America.
Yeah,
they'll
but the
probably take
difference
2
is
weeks.
though is like I mean F1 is just F1, right? I know there's probably isn't there F2 as well?
Yeah, there's F2, F3.
There's
I think
F2.
there's like other ones
Yeah.
as well.
But like if you're
F2.
talking about the after like
Wait,
the actual
F2
like
is actually
pro,
a thing, not just a John
Yeah,
Salmon thing.
Yeah.
I just thought
F2
that was
is
John
like-
Salmon thing.
He might
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
No,
No, F2
like-
is like the one that people graduate to F1, and funnily enough, an esport pro from F1 esports became a real driver in actual Formula 2.
Oh, that's
I
great.
think
What?
because
that's
he was like a world champion in the F1
Oh,
video
like
game.
the sim racing. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
that's
a world
cool.
champion in sim racing,
That's
and they
dope.
got him as an actual driver in like Formula 3. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe somebody in chat knows. And now he's doing like quite well for himself in real driving. Like that's
Dang.
so crazy.
my
Damn.
point
Yeah,
was
that's
though is
cool.
that like you can't watch all pro play at all regions.
Yeah,
Like,
you
yeah,
can.
It's just impossible. And
Yeah.
like
Watch
Rock-
me.
F1 is
Rocket League.
all F1's everyone all together, right? Whereas like our tournaments regionals aren't all together. It's only for the international or for
Yeah, I
the
guess the point I was
international
making
land,
is like
but-
some people say that we shouldn't expect Rocket League, or we should imagine that Rocket League will end up being constructed in a way that you can't even watch all of your own region, right? So let's imagine like F1, which is a global event, is just North American Rocket League. Right now, you can watch all of North American Rocket League feasibly, even as like a
I do.
semi-casual, and as a super hardcore fan like Rizzo, it's easy, you know.
No problem.
Watches it.
I
big
look
deal.
forward to it actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But like the difference with F1 and Rocket League is F1, every single race is different. Like there'll be a different location, different B-roll, different like, camera shots. They've got the people. It's all very, very unique content every time, even if it's on every weekend. Whereas Rocket League, since it's online, it's always the same. Like,
Are there?
Yeah, I
Are you
agree.
saying? Are you saying
Yeah,
different
exactly.
content, as in like they're doing like
well,
interviews
they'll
and
literally
stuff?
be
Or...
like they'll literally be like in a different country. They'll be like in Spain one weekend,
Right.
and
So
they're in
just like the
Italy,
track
then
is
they're
different.
yeah, the track's different, and they're
Okay.
like
Yeah.
getting different. Like in some tracks, some cars do better than others, and in some tracks, it's really important to do well on the Saturday, or else your Sunday is going to be terrible. So there's everything's very different, whereas Rocket League is always the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you on that. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying that I don't think the argument of I can't watch every single region every single week is silly, because I don't think it isn't built that way, and I don't even think you could make it that way to like actually watch everyone. That would be like a week's worth of Rocket League, if not more, in a row. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to what Jorby said a little bit earlier. Like when you say you watch hockey, you have like a favorite team. I'm assuming you root for.
yeah. Pittsburgh Penguins
Okay.
are my favorite team.
So you're always rooting for the Penguins. Like if that was the case, I know you didn't say you had like a big problem watching Rocket League, but like, is there a Rocket League team you actually just like root for?
You know, I don't
okay,
really...
to the level of the Penguins.
Oh,
Let's just
to
say.
the level of the Penguins?
Yeah.
No, I don't have the same affiliation. Like when I was young, like my family were like Pittsburgh sports fans.
Right.
So I just kind of like watched them when I was young. So I have like a lot of emotional attachment to like the city and the teams, just from a sports perspective. But I don't have that same attachment in Rocket League. I definitely get behind certain teams sometimes.
Like Beast
and
Mode and V1.
yeah, Beast Mode V1 or Misfits, because
Yeah.
I've been doing their team streams, and it's funny because I find myself like actually rooting for Misfits when we're all just sitting in the green room during Saturday Sunday broadcasts, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually fanboying over here a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy, not like I am with the Pens.
Right. So then, as for it, do you have a team you root for at all in Rocket League? Is that why maybe you think you don't?
I mean, I do, but it's just like, because the only time, because I barely watch Rocket League. I just
okay.
It's weird. But the one time I actually watched like the full regional, well, I only watched NA to clarify, but the only time I watched the full regional was when it was like the roster mania, and it was like first killer to phase, and then Daniel SSG, right?
Yeah.
So that already like it made me want to watch like FaZe and SSG
Because it was something different, like you were saying.
Yeah, those my two teams also, like, because like I don't know.
Or
but
were you glued to it when it was NRG versus FaZe on Twitter as well?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like it makes me want to watch the series, but like after that regional, it was I just thought it was like the same again. I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard.
So
to,
you were super engaged with NRG versus FaZe during the tournament, but afterwards,
when first killer was yapping, and then
yeah.
But
So
then
like
after
you don't even know who, like, since if you didn't watch any of the EU regionals this time, do you know Team Queso? Or is
oh
this,
no,
like,
yeah, Joyo, Vatira, and Rise, right? Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, they're good. I know like a little
They're
bit.
good.
But
Wait, but you said you didn't watch them. How do you know?
No, because I've been hearing on Twitter, like it's all over Twitter.
That's true.
And I've seen some clips like here and there, but I don't really watch that much. I don't know.
That's like Calm. Didn't Calm say he's like, I don't know any of the European teams. I don't watch any of them.
He knew none of them. Yeah, I interviewed him, and I was asking him like some questions about EU players. He's like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm slightly biased towards NA.
I
But
think it's quite normal though. Like,
It's
I
just
think
cool because I know a bunch of the players, so I like, you know what I mean. Like when I watch them play, it's like it's cool like that.
Yeah, it's your friend.
Yeah, you just rooting for your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know much EU peeps. I know a couple, but yeah. Also, they stream it early, right? Like kind of like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Like I'm sleeping towards that time, man. I can't wake up for that.
I'm laughing, but I'm in exactly the same boat.
like that's during my sleep schedule.
On that 3 p.m. wake up
It's
time.
just funny how you said it early.
Yeah, Rizzo's planning a view party, then he wakes up to the alarm. It says view party. He's like, I'll get it later. I'll just get back to you. Too soon.
I mean,
that's also another thing. So it's like,
sometimes like I've been asked to do EU broadcasts, and I'm just like, it's like 10 a.m. Like I'm gonna say no because I don't think I'll be awake. Sorry, guys. It's like I don't want to say yes and then just absolutely miss it. And they can't get me up or anything.
Yeah.
I would feel horrible.
oh, also I want to clarify. I don't watch much Rocket League, but I do watch every LAN, and that's basically it. Like you have to watch the LANs. That's like
Yeah,
must.
lands go crazy.
I mean,
The
that's
crowd is
that's
like
the most important thing,
it
right?
feels like a real sport almost. So it's like
I think a
it's
lot
hard.
of Rocket League players, when they play a lot of Rocket League and compete,
Yeah.
they don't watch a lot of Rocket League.
That's true.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hard.
It's
It's
too
hard
much
to
Rocket League.
consume content.
That is
It's
definitely
also like
true.
when you cast a lot of Rocket League. Sometimes when I'm casting a ton, I don't play any Rocket League. Like I was casting quite a lot in the past couple of weeks. I haven't played Rocket League because it's too much Rocket League. You gotta like try and make sure you don't get burnt out. You know,
Yeah.
focus on like the main reason you do it.
Yeah, I was definitely
Yeah.
the same way when I played. Sorry, Curly.
No, go ahead.
Speak
again.
Thank you. I mean, when I was still playing and stuff, like the last thing I wanted to do was watch more Rocket League or, I mean, play more Rocket League.
Yeah, it's like you've had
In
enough.
general, it's just anything Rocket League related. I just don't want to be.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with that. I think at the time I was watching like Scissors speedrun Minecraft. Like that was my thing. So just anything.
It comes to a point where it's just
yeah.
too much. Like
I was gonna
What?
say, in regards to like the viewer fatigue thing, or just fatigue in general, like I don't really trust my own opinion on like how much Rocket League I watch because I'm literally paid to watch Rocket League. So like I have more of an incentive. Whereas if a fan's just watching, like obviously they're doing it for their own entertainment. So I don't feel like my opinion is like all that great because
Well, that's why I just want to know the reasoning behind like what
yeah,
people are feeling
I'm
fatigue
literally
on. 'Cause,
paid to
like,
be a spectator.
yeah, just because like earlier people, complaining that it's the format that's making things tired, but I really just didn't
Well-
think that was the case at all. I thought like there was a conflation between why fatigue was being
Yes,
felt.
exactly.
And the reason being stated didn't make sense to me.
And to
personally.
be fair, what Asfer is saying, I'm totally with. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, if you've watched any CRL streams, that's all I ask for is people to yell at each other and call each other names or like whatever, right? Because I mean that's the kind of stuff that gets people engaged and like people will pick sides, right? Like people will be like,
it's
"No,
like
no, no."
LSU and U of A. That was the peak of
say.
CRL. That was
That's
the
what I was
peak
about
of
to say.
CRL.
It's like you're either in T-Bates camp or you're in like Fire's camp, right? Like
Yeah.
it depends on what you were. And so like I think in lands, international lands especially, you get everyone together and there's an opportunity there to like film that type of content and get that type of content out of players, and then people will be like, oh yeah, like that Justin Scrub Killa interview, like, oh yeah, I love Justin, or I love Scrub Killa, that kind of stuff. So
Especially the whole NA versus EU.
yeah,
I do think this stuff has been exacerbated by the online era. We got this
it's
huge
COVID. Yeah.
we got this huge uptick
Wait,
in
what-
quantity
was
of
that word?
games played, right? And it happened right as we could not do any lands. So
Yo,
Exacerbated means like to be made worse,
Jesus.
or like to be in this context, but it's like to exaggerated. is
Hey,
sort
you
of
learn
the-
something new every day. Exacerbated.
there you go, you got it.
You got it. You got it.
Exaggerated. Yeah.
Make sure you say it 3 times every morning for the next week.
I like that.
It's true though. It's just COVID. I think COVID
Yeah.
fatigue.
That is
I
true,
really
yeah.
do think it
Yeah.
is.
yeah, because when we did this fall major, like the buzz was incredible, right? Everybody was so excited, and that wasn't even including a crowd. It was a bubble event. So
Dude,
know,
it was
I
the
can't
second
imagine
most
when we
viewed event
have-
in Rocket League history before or right
Yeah.
below season 8. So
I can't imagine when we
Mm.
have 4 in crowd or
Right.
in person with a crowd events in a calendar year. I think people are going to be a lot more satisfied with things when that happens.
Yo,
Maybe
can I
even
ask-
more.
can I
What
ask
if the
a question real
regionals
quick?
are lands?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, that would be crazy.
When is Worlds? Like, is that like once a year now instead of twice?
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they changed
So is that-
the season to like 2021, 22.
Okay. Yeah.
So like they're doing the full.
So is it almost soon or no? Not yet.
I mean, we still got another split, bro.
Dang. Okay.
Wait, they've got it on their
They got-
website.
they
the
got like 4 or
RLCS
5 months.
website. It's on here.
What the
The
esports
World
website?
States. Yeah, the esports website. Hold on. It's on.
Do you
here.
think international Rocket League would be something that'd be fun to watch or not?
What do you mean? Just like
Considering like from countries, like England, France. all that
Oh.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think it's definitely like a thing.
like
Right.
a World Cup style like LAN event?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
like-
one of my
That'd be
favorite
sick.
And like
pieces of
a- like a
content ever was that
Worlds.
World Cup from back
Like
in the day.
Yeah, like
the League
imagine
of
a
Rockets
Worlds
World
but with countries.
Yes.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
League of Rockets World Cup was so fun.
Another
worked
thing that
on
I liked
one.
about that, Johnny, was the the field design. I don't know how you guys did that, but
Oh
you know what
yeah, I
mean?
remember that. That field was
Yeah.
beautiful.
It
It
was
looked
just like
different than the normal arena.
yeah,
It's
you can still do that to this day. It was like with Bacchus mod, I think, or something similar.
I thought it looked so cool.
It was really cool, and the graphics were all very like on theme with that, and with the World Cup, like the real World Cup. So yeah, it just felt very like right. Everything was good.
Yeah.
Those
Uh,
matches were all so scuffed though, because it was all online. So
Oh yeah,
we
that's
had
what I'm
to do it
saying.
in
Like
person.
a worlds event for that would be crazy. Like
Yeah,
every player playing on 0 ping. Oh sheesh.
I just feel like there's so much you could branch out,
That
except for
would
like not just RLCS. You know, like other stuff.
that would have been the Olympic event, right?
Yeah, IW.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was
Oh, I
supposed to be.
forgot
COVID.
about that.
COVID,
that would've been
man.
dope.
COVID, man.
That's what it is. I really think it is just COVID fatigue because one of the problems, and you know, if you think of Rocket League Esports, it is kind of like a content. Well, Rocket League Esports is like a content creator, but obviously it's an organization putting
Yeah.
together tournaments and making an esport. Whenever you like make content that's better than anything you've ever done before, which is what the Fall Major probably was, if then you make worse content than this, people are like not happy with it anymore,
Yeah.
even if it's
Oh, that's
that is
true.
better than something you made before. So I've had this problem many times because a lot of times I'll come out with a tournament and people are like, "This is so sick." Then I do like back to normal and they're like,
Show
"Well,
matches.
this is trash." But
Yeah.
before I did the good content, they liked this, so I kind of shot myself in the foot with the whole process. And that's what's happening right now with Rocket League because everything's online. And then you have a really cool event. That's what people actually want. Then you go back to online, and people are like, "Ah,
Yeah, like dang.
too much
this
of this."
again?
You know?
That honestly
People
is
still have
probably
yeah.
the
Go ahead,
best
Rizzo.
point I've heard for viewer fatigue. That right there
Yeah.
is just
It
just
is.
the best
It's
take.
just content.
Yeah. I
But
think
once
that,
in the
that-
future, when it's all like LANs, because regionals could be LANs as well in the future. Like they could all, like get all the NA like talent into, or all the NA players into one place, do a regional LAN. You know?
You think
Yeah.
so?
Who
You think
needs-
they would actually be willing to do that? I feel like it's still hard with
Yeah.
kids in school.
Why not?
I think it's a possible
why not?
future for sure. If
It's much
the and
easier.
if it's stable enough, I think the players will find a way to get there.
Yeah.
Because I think they have less problems with like school and exams in North America than I think they
Yeah,
do
especially,
in like
like,
other
online.
countries.
I think down the
Plus,
line
it's
the
not
age
as
will be
hard,
higher,
right?
too.
So you know, going to Sweden is really hard for like
Yeah.
all the kids of school. But if you're just having to go to somewhere else in the US, it's not as difficult because you
Yeah.
don't have to go travel overseas. It's like domestic for most players.
Yeah, that's true. They would just hate it, but
Yeah.
we would enjoy
It
it.
used
It'll,
to
it'll
work.
be
There was
okay.
There was an event in the UK years ago called Gfinity where players flew in from all
Oh,
over Europe
yeah.
every weekend, and it worked. And that was like much smaller teams, much smaller orgs than we have now. And they would just fly in on the Friday, do the event on the Saturday, go home on the Sunday, and it
Yeah,
worked.
the Elite Series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
remember
I
that.
think it could work. You could just, I mean, some regionals might need to be, you know, a little bit squashed because right now it's over 2 days. You might have to just squeeze it all into one day, a much shorter format, so people can get home. But that would still be superior. Like a 1 day LAN event would be better than a 2 day online event, I think, if it had to be
Big
that.
agree.
Had
Yeah,
to
that'd
be
be
Yeah,
one
I
cool.
agree.
one day
Especially
LAN.
if they had like their own, like kind of known studio. I guess like they're, you know, they wouldn't go to different venues. I would assume, right? They would just have their
Oh,
one studio.
they
with,
might. I mean, you could because some venues want events. They want people to come to them. So, you know, if there's like a place that you could just go, the advantage of that is you get that unique B-roll, unique location. Maybe they've got like locals who can come around and visit. Like, oh, RLCS is in such
yeah,
and
that's
such
what
a
I'm
state this
thinking.
weekend.
Like if they moved,
It
moved
could
it
work,
around
I don't
city
know.
to city, they would get like a wider range of.
But for
audience.
Gfinity, for Gfinity players, like what was like the longest flight to get to the studio? Like who had to travel the
I bet
furthest?
Metsonoris had a pretty long one. I don't know what it would have been, but Finland is pretty far. I'm actually gonna look it up right now because I'm kind of
Because I would venture to guess. I mean, I'm just thinking about NA. I would venture to guess that they would probably want, if they were to do that, they would want a studio on the East Coast because I think most players are on the East Coast now.
True,
And,
yeah.
I mean, those are long flights if you're flying from, all the way West Coast, all the way
Right.
across to.
Well, it could be
6
like
hours.
6 hours, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a long flight. So I
Is
mean,
it
that's a whole
6?
day of
Really?
travel at that point.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
coast to
well,
coast
you'd
is
have
like
to
6 hours.
go. You'd have to go like after school on the Friday. Like that would be the only way to do it. Is like school's done, you
Oh,
fly out.
and then go play Saturday
Then
morning.
you
I
play
mean,
on the
that'd be brutal.
Saturday.
That'd
Yeah,
still be
you play
pretty
on
brutal.
Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it can be done. I mean, I do think that like the perception of how players travel right now is probably going to have to change anyways. Because when you travel to Worlds, like players show up 2-3 weeks early, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if you did this, like you would literally just hop on the plane, get there that night, and then like wake up and play the next day.
I mean, that's what it was. I had to fly in.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not saying it's
I'm in the
bad.
UK,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah, you would fly out on the Friday, do the event on the Saturday, then you just go home like the next day. You just fly 2 days is traveling. One travel event, travel again. You're back.
Yeah.
It
that's
would
how we
work
used
because most
to
players
house.
are East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it would. I like the idea. I think it's good.
I don't mind doing like a like me like if like when I was playing, I would hate the idea of that like flying Friday, playing Saturday, and just leaving like either that night or the next morning or whatever. Like I would absolutely hate that. But
It's tiring. It's
but
very
now
tiring.
I would be like, okay, like if it was for like a content thing, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it quick, and then I'm out. Like I don't want to be there any extra time or whatever.
It's funny though because like you
Totally
might
different, though.
think. I think the idea of it sounds bad because you're like, oh, it's such an effort because it is. It's a big effort compared to just like going and playing Rocket League in your own home. But it is really motivating as well. I know a lot of players like they enjoyed that process and it kept them motivated because it's different. It's not just the grind, you know.
Yeah.
It's a change up. So you get to do something unique to break the monotony.
Feels a lot
Plus,
more
you know-
professional too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting on a
Yeah.
plane and flying across the U.S. to go play somewhere.
Hmm.
Gonna say, I'm sure a lot of players would rather. I'm making a big assumption here, but I'm assuming that players would, if asked, your one cost to play on zero ping on a consistent basis is you have to fly on a plane every week. I feel like most players would take that in a heartbeat.
It'd probably be like also every 2 weeks as well.
Yeah,
'cause
every
like,
week
Reach
Yeah,
was
might
every
be
not
day
every
pretty
week.
much.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't
Like-
like. I think a lot of people would take it, right? They'd be like, "Yeah, like let's do it." If it's every other week, for sure. I'm just saying, like people in school are gonna be like, "Oh, there's gonna be
Yeah. Right.
issues, either my parents
Yeah.
or the school or
Yeah.
whatever."
But you could do schoolwork on the plane, you know, like you can do schoolwork in the airport. Like there really is nothing to do in a plane sometimes. So like it's the best place.
I think long term, I
do
don't think
work.
that'll be an
That's true.
issue. I've always thought that the average age will increase
Yeah, I agree.
for Rocket League. So I think over time that won't be an issue. I think you're going to see a lot more 18, 19, 20, low 20 players
Like,
in the league.
I don't know. I feel like in Rocket League, everyone's so young though. Like the more players that come in, they're always like 15, 14.
Oh, no.
Still
I'm saying
still a
there will
really young
always be those
esport, though.
players, but
Yeah.
But,
I mean, there'll be like the
how
once
old
in a
is-
generation 15-year-old. But I do think that there will be a lot more players like I mean,
Like,
you can't even say one right now, but like a Garrett G or something like that. It's been around for a long time from the start of the game till now. Like, I mean, his career is going to go a long time. I think there'll be a lot of players like him, and even a lot of players that aren't like necessarily at his status, but will just be in the league for a very long time.
How
and they're
old is
just
First
solid
Killer?
players.
Is he like is First Killer
I
17?
think he
He's
just turned
17.
17, right?
So First
Like,
Killer's
recently.
17. Does anyone think First Killer's going to be like washed when he's
He's
20?
17.
No, I don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think so. Not a
It's
chance.
like he's going to be like that's just one example, but you got like all these other young players. Daniel, he just
Yeah.
turned 15. Do you think he's going to be washed when he's 20? No, like
Nope.
they're not going anywhere. I think now is the first time because like the open format, it really blew up and like lots of players burst onto the scene because of that. But it's gonna start. I think it's gonna start stabilizing.
And like, how many 15-year-olds really did we talk about? I mean, there was like what 3 this season, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
We
like,
got a lot
I mean,
more
that's,
in EU, right? I think.
I mean,
a
between
lot.
NA,
A few more, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you guys more young.
no, but I mean, like, who turned 15 during the like league? I
Oh,
guess.
just
but
just
yeah,
Daniel, right? I think.
but
Oh,
but
and
yeah,
Aqua as well.
Aqua. Yeah,
there
yeah.
were more players too that were like 15 coming into the season. But my point is like, I mean, it's not like you're having this gigantic class of like 15-year-olds every single year coming in. You have, a few that'll turn 15 during the league. And like I said, there will always be those 15-year-olds, but I do feel like the overall age will skew towards low 20s near the end, and school won't really be as big of an issue.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
also
the
think,
esports still pretty young. They don't have a lot of they don't haven't had like enough time to grow. Like, right, we just started the new format last year, continuing that stability. And in the old system, it was hard to play full time outside of like 10 to 15 players in each region. So the fact that so many got cycled out because the grind kind of got stale in the old system, all these new young players that have been grinding and just weren't able to get into this closed system. They came in, took care of all the old talent, and yeah, they're all young now, But like Johnny was saying with First Killer, I don't think him, I don't think Vatira, I don't think Seiko, I don't think any of these players are going to be bad in 4 years.
Right.
If they stay at their current
I think
pace,
something else that's important is like as esports further legitimizes itself and like becomes more mainstream, there's more of an incentive for these players to continue to play professionally. Whereas, you know, in the past, there may not it may not have been attractive financially as a 24, 25, 26-year-old. Where now, you know, the money's there, they're going to continue to chase that money. So I think that's going to weigh into that as well.
Yep, I agree, and I think it is. I mean,
money existed.
I've talked about it on my stream, but I've seen so many studies that show that like for older players, people who are like 25 plus or whatever, like they like everyone talks about, oh, you're old, like your reflexes suck. It's the degradation of your reflexes and stuff like that is so minimal and does not make a difference. What changes is the priorities to what you're saying,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You get a wife, you have a kid,
Yes.
right? And all of a sudden traveling every single weekend is not your priority. It's taking care of your family. So
is there a pro over 25? Or 25 over?
I
I
don't
think
think
the last
that's
one
not.
was, isn't Roldiz like 25?
Roldiz
I know,
is
I
the
know
one I
he's,
know of.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is 25.
Okay, yeah. I think he might be the oldest, actually. I can't think
Yes,
of anyone
but
around here.
speaking of old, did you guys see the meme on Reddit about Rizzo playing with G2 again?
Okay.
I did.
I saw the clip.
The worst
He-
part
he
is Wid is
got
in
it.
here too.
Yeah.
Wid is the one
It's
who made
really
it.
good.
Oh, shout out Wid. Wid's the GOAT. Shout out Wid.
It's so good. I love it.
Now I need to find the clip. But
It's
no.
the one with the old man with the running into the touchdown.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
we-
that one.
Oh
yeah.
no, we know the clip. We know which clip it is.
Okay.
That one.
Okay. I was making sure.
That clip is so fun.
I'm subscribed to Rizzo Live or whatever it is on that subreddit. There's a lot of memes on there.
That's a good
so.
subreddit. I'm just saying. Here, wait, maybe I could screen share this on Discord as well. Oh, it's already playing. Yeah, I still got it. AXB remembers that one. Oh shit! Oh my god.
Go, Rizzo, go.
What is wrong with you guys?
Rizzo, your form is looking as great as ever.
my
man.
God.
I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how you've been able to keep form all
That,
these
oh
years.
my
Not
god.
the
MVP
highlight
award.
reel. It says
What's
it was
the-
great seeing Rizzo back on the field with G2 one last time for a couple scrim games last week.
The best thing is like Rizzo probably thought like, man, I still got it when he's playing the scrims. Then he saw this meme and he's like, wait, were they all letting me win?
Dude, did anybody see the screenshot on Twitter?
I saw it.
You saw it?
Top of the leaderboard. I saw it.
Top of the leaderboard. That's what I'm saying. I dropped
Oh my.
Dropped-
800.
dropped
Whoa.
833 on him.
Almost dropping 1,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, man.
Look at him work.
Wow.
5 saves.
Wait,
Wait,
Jason thought
maybe
he could
First
handle
Killer
it.
isn't going to be that great after 20. Who knows? I don't know.
Wait, what's the context when you said XB? Remember that one, or what was it? Like, what was it?
AXB would always maul at me because I would just chase him around in scrims. A valid tactic. So then I tried to bump him in this, and that's why I said AXB remembers that one because he's probably getting PTSD or something.
Oh, that's right. He's playing too.
Oh,
Oh.
so that's why you can't bump Squishy in scrims. It was you, Rizzo. You were the one.
No,
Who
because
did
like,
that?
I've been gone
man.
for a while now, so like it's no longer my problem. It's not my issue anymore. You know what I mean? So like it can't
But
possibly.
you are the reason.
I
You
think Calm
inspired
No.
Calm
the
is the torch.
No, that's not true. It can't
Yeah.
possibly be
inspired
me
it.
because it's still happening as I'm gone, right?
Yeah, I think
You're the
Calm.
I mean,
pioneer,
you
Rizzo.
can, you can light the torch and leave the torch
I was going
on
to
the
say,
stand,
you
know?
burnt his fuse, man. But you were the one.
I was
Then-
a short circuit.
G2 are notorious for it. You must have had an influence there. I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet of like Torment saying just what it's like to scrim G2, and he's being like demoed by all 3 players. Like
It's
JDaps
just
is trying to
3 of
air
them
dribble bump
chasing
him. Yeah, he's got 2 people chasing him, and JDaps is trying to bump him after air dribbling as well. They're like all up for the demo.
Well, like I'll
Rizzo-
say,
Rizzo
I thought that they, I thought like we were just getting blacklisted from scrimming people because of me. Like I legitimately thought that, but as I left, and I was like, oh, they're still getting blacklisted, so it's not me, so it's fine. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was all on me, but clearly
I
not.
can't believe this.
So it wasn't just me.
Wait, somebody mentioned Roldiz is the oldest pro earlier, but I saw like on the Reddit there's a Shift post about Ghost roster change, and there's another one about Roldiz saying on stream he's retiring. Is he baiting us? Is he just like seen the Shift post and he's like dead on stream?
He's
that
probably he's probably watching right now, and I'm not the oldest. I'm tired.
I think, yeah, I don't know.
Old
I
is.
can't tell. I can't tell it.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. That's messed up.
I thought that's what somebody
That's
said.
foul.
I
That's
saw
foul.
the Reddit post, and it was the guy who was like, here, let me just read it. It's actually kind of funny. The post, the topic says, Roldo's retiring. He said so on stream. I tried to clip it for proof, but it went poof. Hawkster is the likely replacement as he did well during the Hercules Tire Invitational. And then the original poster also put in the comments, Roldos, just repeat yourself on stream so I can clip it. Why you gotta make my life harder?
Why can't you just go to the VOD?
Yes, he can.
Clip it
He
from the
can.
VOD.
But he doesn't know that he can go
Oh
in the VOD and clip it.
Nah, dude, it went poof. Come
It
on.
went poof, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like maybe it was like a sarcastic thing too, where he's just like, 'cause, I mean, I would do that all the time. I would just be like, wait, yo, are you quitting? This was like season 6, which, you know, who knows? But I was always like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Season 7. Yeah, I'm done. Season 8. Yeah, I'm done. And I would just say it on stream. So like, it could be one of those. But who knows?
Yeah, I feel like Roldos has that same energy. Like, I feel like it's like,
He
like
could,
yeah, man, I'm
yeah.
retiring.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's
this
all
is-
over.
If he wanted
This
to,
is
I don't see the issue there. I think he's interested in a lot of content stuff too. Like he's got a good thing going with like First Touch, and he did that like thing. What was it? Like Bachelor thing or whatever it was.
Oh god.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
was
wait,
it-
Asper
what was
was
the name
on
of
that.
I was on that.
Asper, did you win?
Nah, I got second, man.
Second.
Oh.
Ooh, that's
But that's not bad though.
That's
Top
good.
2. That's not bad.
That's
Top-
still
that's
good.
good.
That's,
That's
not
better
bad.
than your previous performance.
It is.
Yeah,
I got
I mean-
bottom 2 last time, but we reversed it.
Wait, who won? Who won?
Fakey, the coach, Ghost Coach,
Yeah.
Ghost
Ghost
yeah,
Coach.
Ghost Co-
Who came last though? The more importantly,
Arsenal didn't even want to be there, man. I don't.
he
He was just
Arsenal
there.
came last?
He was playing Rocket League and like while in the call, like he did not want to be there.
He was throwing.
I was like, oh,
Do,
damn, all right.
Ezra, do you have the clip of you shuffling?
Oh no, I don't.
Oh,
I know GC in Disguise has it though somewhere.
GC in the skies. Okay, I gotta find
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
I gotta find that was like the one clip I saw of the broadcast.
Bro, they made me dance. Like I was not ready for that.
Oh, I
thought
found
was-
it. I found it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
My
we're
God,
already
that's
on
fast.
it. Yep.
Wait, is this from the
still,
show?
I'm still sharing. right?
Yeah.
You guys can see this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, there we go. So you got him with a little
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a shuffle right there.
Yeah, I fuck with
Yeah.
that.
That's-
That looks good.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Listen, man.
I see
Bro,
you
did you
guys. I
Speed,
see.
speed moves.
Listen, you gotta
Where'd
do what
you
you gotta
learn
do.
I mean,
I,
that's
I made
that's
it up. I freestyled that.
Oh, you freestyled it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
nice.
I'm not really a dancer though, so I can't really.
You could have fooled
Same.
me, man.
That's the best I could do.
IRL mechanics.
Wait, actually, if you think about it, dancing is kind of like IRL mechanics.
Yeah.
Mechanical.
Like
Yeah.
like
You
the way you can control your body, it's like you're
You
mechanical.
bind
like-
air roll to your left leg or right leg?
You're looking a little
Some
mecky.
people,
there.
yeah.
Wait, oh god, you just started something bad now. Now when people are dancing on a land, they're gonna call them Mechie. Oh
Next.
god, what do you do, Rizzo, bro?
He's got good mechs. Oh my
Look at
god.
Mechie today.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can go back. We kind of said a few things about the major, but we didn't really make like actual predictions. And like you don't have to give a full-on prediction or whatever. But actually, let me just copy paste this to you guys too, so it's easier. These are the groups. Yeah, that looks normal. These are the groups. Which in Group A we have Detonator, FaZe, Team Queso, and V1. Jorby, I gotta ask you. Where do you think V1's placing in this group?
Oh man. Look, I like
Tough group.
V1. Do I think they're gonna win this group? Probably not. But I think they have a good play for second. You know, and I know all the FaZe fans out there are gonna get so mad. They get so mad whenever you talk bad about FaZe. They're like, ah, it's first killer, it's typical, it's AJ. You can't say bad things. But like, have you seen their defense? I think version 1 can take advantage of that. I could see version 1 beating FaZe in groups. Best of 5, easily. Detonator, I don't think version 1's gonna have a problem with Detonator. Team Queso, different story. You're gonna find me, or you're gonna be hard pressed to find me picking them in this tournament. They're just way too good, and I think they're getting the land buff 100% when they go. They're gonna be so excited.
You're thinking Queso?
Yeah, Queso. I think Queso definitely take that group.
You think Queso 9-0 the group?
Do I think they 9-0?
No,
Yeah.
surely not.
No 9-0s.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Ooh,
If you
you
want to
don't
make a
like-
bold claim.
You know,
think they're gonna
V1's.
get a- Sorry, you can go.
I was gonna say, isn't V1's first match phase like the opener?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it is,
Pull that up.
which is kind of interesting.
I was gonna say, you think they're gonna get a land buff? Queso?
Queso? Yeah. I think
I don't-
Queso gets the land buff.
I don't know. This is all their first time going to land, right?
Yeah,
Like, all
it's their
three of
first
them?
time
Yeah.
online. Yeah.
A lot
So-
of these people, it's their first time
Mhm.
online.
I think over
Yeah,
half of
okay.
the players.
Although they are on the have fun meta already. That's their meta.
Oh yeah, they're winning then. It's over.
Yeah, they're fine.
Oh wait, Queso figured out the strat?
So, yeah,
The have fun
been,
meta.
they've been on the have fun meta the whole split. Full win mentality. Like they're positive Parsees.
Positive Percy's.
It's easy to be positive when you're winning.
That's true.
Yeah.
It
Right.
really is.
You know, I'll say version 1 B phase 3-1 in that first group stage game.
Love it.
So you think
Fair.
V1 takes second?
I think V1 takes second in the group. I do. I think they look really good. FaZe are probably going to be, nuts on land, but in bracket play, not in groups.
Anybody else want to go against that? We got Queso first, V1 second, FaZe third.
I
I
think.
guess the main thing is probably the V1 FaZe, right? I think a lot of people assume
Yeah.
Queso's taking that group.
I put FaZe above V1.
I think
it'll be
FaZe-
close. Yeah.
I think FaZe wins that group. to be
I put him in
honest.
5. I didn't put FaZe winning the group, but I think FaZe beats
Yeah.
version 1 for second. So
I think I went for a 3-way tie in this group. I'm trying to find it. Wait,
Ooh.
I
I can
did.
definitely see that.
Yeah, I
know,
went for the
Those one
3-way
teams playing
tie.
one off each other.
And then that goes 0-3.
Yeah, I had Detonator going 0-9. No disrespect, but this is a group of, like that they're just
Yeah.
really struggling.
Yeah.
And then I went for a 3-way tie, but FaZe lost the tiebreaker and came third. But I did have them beating V1 and then losing to Queso, and then V1 I had beating Queso.
Interesting.
So we'll see. I went for a surprise group there.
Yeah.
I know your strategy, Johnny.
What's strat?
I know you're an engagement farmer.
You see, but the worst
I
part,
see
the
what
worst
you're
part
doing.
is like you think he's memeing, and then his prediction actually
And
comes
it comes
through,
true.
and then you're just not sure anymore. You're just
And
really
that's
not
why
sure
it's so
anymore.
like it
Like,
wasn't
you can't keep
38
getting away with it.
That's
How?
why it's so big brain though. It's like
That's
a
what I'm saying.
win-win.
I just
Crazy.
pick like the most. So what I honestly do with my predictions is I pick the most interesting, reasonable prediction that I can go for. Because I've tried in the past, like full big braining it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with Rocket League 3s. It's not possible.
You just
big
can't
brain it.
actually think about it. That's the thing.
It's not possible. You cannot big brain this game. So I thought, well, why bother trying? Let's just try and make interesting, reasonable predictions.
Queso
'Cause
gets
then if
third
you're
in
right-
this group.
Hey, you're a genius.
I say Queso gets third.
See, that's like a reasonable prediction. I'd say it
I
falls
actually-
within like the realm of reasonability.
Yeah, like I mean, even just looking at like FaZe Queso V1, like V1 has a chance, especially if they're coming off
exactly.
like a regional win. I know. I guess I don't know if you would put
Dude,
too
it's
much weight
on
on that,
land.
'cause it's been,
There's
like, a
no.
month, right?
Yeah, it's on land. You haven't like V1 or FaZe is the only team that, or they haven't even played Queso. No one's played each other. And
Yeah.
like even if V1 hasn't had a lot of success against top North American teams online, it's just different on land. Like online
Yeah.
results, rare. I don't think they translate as heavily from online to land. Like the atmosphere is just different, And I think that especially because they're best of 5, anything can happen in a
Mhm.
best of 5 set. So
Also because people are like, or the time frame, right? It's been I don't even know. This event was like 2 weeks ago. The major's still in like 3 more weeks, like 5-6 weeks until the event. Like so much can change in like practice or whatever. Like a team can just start absolutely flopping in practice and then just have no confidence whatsoever going into it. And then they win it. That's usually actually what happens. They have no confidence and then they win. So
Yeah.
But it's so back and forth, and like even though you think like Queso could just come out on top of this group because they've been dominating EU, it's just like I don't know. It could happen, but you really never know on the
It's
limb.
like I said, it's reasonable to put Queso anywhere first to third.
Yeah.
But if somebody says they're coming
basically.
fourth,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're
Yeah.
not serious. Like that's actually farming.
Which region is Detonator from?
Japan, APAC North.
Oh, okay.
They
Yeah.
I was
took
curious.
that is like Tokyo Verde from last regional.
Their story
is that
was-
real?
Or
Realized?
it's not the same
Yeah.
team, but it's the
Okay.
same regional.
They beat
Tokyo Verde
Realize.
is, yeah.
Their
yeah.
qualification story was really cool.
Which one? Tokyo or Detonator?
Detonator. Because they
Oh.
weren't even supposed to be in the qualifying, the APAC qualifier thing, but NIMT, how do I say that? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
They for some reason they couldn't make it, so they had to forfeit their spot in the qualifier, and
Oh
Detonator
wow.
took their spot and then ended up winning the qualification to the major. So they weren't even supposed to be like eligible. And here they are.
Wow. That's crazy. I did not know that at all.
And also, I don't think Vardy had ever lost to Detonator before. They've beaten them every time they
Right.
played, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
They're like way ahead of them in points, but then Detonator snuck in through this this spot that they got given. And then they won. They just like on that day they were the better team, so they're going.
I want to ask y'all this. What do y'all think about this? So FaZe, obviously, everybody was hyping them up, super team, NA showstoppers, they're gonna take down NRG, whatever, right? I have this weird feeling that when we get to LAN and some of those like expectations or weight on their shoulders may end up being removed, and I feel like they could actually play better than they have the rest of this split. Do you feel like that's wild to say, or do you feel like there may be some truth to that?
I don't think it's wild to
That could be
say.
true.
I don't think like I think
To
like
me, it felt like they made this move, and there was so much pressure on them that if they didn't get first, and I mean, it felt like every event, but if they didn't beat people, nobody was having it. Everybody was so upset with them. Like, what did they finish third and fourth in every event, and people were just furious with FaZe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's obviously entitled to however they feel about things, and I know there was some questionable decisions made, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like they could be like freed up from those mental weights when they get to LAN.
I
It's
agree.
definitely possible. Yeah.
I think the biggest, I mean, I think you kind of like, I don't know if you answered your own question, but you kind of like shaped it where like the issue for everyone with FaZe is that in the winter split, I mean, they couldn't break through like NRG.
Mhm.
They couldn't break through G2. And so it's like you make these changes, and I mean, I don't agree with this, but I think a lot of people's mindset is you made these changes to perform better, but they couldn't, beat the top of NA, with like G2 and NRG. So like, I think a lot of other people might think, well, maybe FaZe made just the changes for international LAN, because you're right, like third or fourth, third, or whatever it was, this split is like really good. I don't think anyone's saying that FaZe had a bad split, but they also at the same time are like suffering from like what BDS suffered from last split, where it's like if BDS
Yes.
doesn't always win, they're like, oh, they suck.
Exactly.
They're horrible, and like BDS is coming in second, and it's like that was a bad regional for BDS,
and
and
I
like
do think
FaZe
FaZe,
in
they
a
increased
way,
their floor.
yeah. I think in a way, FaZe I think FaZe and FaZe fans, or maybe FaZe haters rather, feel that way too, where it's like, well, you made this roster change because you thought it was going to be
Yes.
make you better when you finish top 4 at LAN, but you couldn't even beat G2 or NRG, so like you suck, even though they had a great split. I mean, this is a good split for FaZe. So, yeah, I don't think that answers your question, but I feel like that's the mindset for a lot of people.
Yeah. And obviously it doesn't guarantee that they're going to play well there, but I feel like I actually feel more confident in FaZe at this major than I did in regionals in North America, which doesn't really make any sense, but
I feel the same way. I think so too. Yeah.
What, like as in placement?
I
You're gonna place
don't know,
higher
maybe
than
not
third?
placement, but just to like play better, perform better, because they've
Yeah.
definitely not, they have definitely not played their best. They've looked sloppy at times, and
I feel like they have the highest peak out of. In NA, the highest peak for sure.
I do feel like this is slightly the it's not a direct comparison, but the BDS effect here,
Yeah.
because FaZe did raise their floor this split. Like they performed well at the fall major with Illusion, and they played well overall in the winter split. Like, I don't think anyone can say FaZe played badly. Whenever anyone talks about like the problems with FaZe, like it's relative to the people in the top 4 of North America. You know, like top 4 every time. That's a market improvement. And that's like the best. I think that's the best you can hope for in the league now. Like
Yeah.
there's so much talent at the top. It's hard to be consistently that good.
I think a lot of the teams are really looking for consistency in general, and like even the FaZe, like yeah, they obviously want to win. Every team wants to win, but just getting consistent top 4s, I feel like is just much more important than like aiming for like random wins sort of thing. Because I in split 1, I'm pretty sure FaZe like exited at like 12th or something, or like 13th
Oh, yeah.
or 16th.
That
They
was
got
when
last.
didn't they lose groups? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just like lost groups and
Yeah.
got last. Like,
I remember they demoed RBG and like made a record in RLCS.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
After, after,
and
and
then
then
they
after
lost.
that, yeah. So it's like, oh,
Yeah, that was
dang.
so my main point is I don't think, or I would think that they would rather just get the consistent top 4s, really focus on worlds rather than a random last place placement and then having the chance of doing that again. I feel like it's horrifying to a team. Like no team wants to even think about putting themselves in that position, because that could really ruin your run for worlds. Maybe not now because they've had the consistent placements, but at the time they could have lost like their world spot potentially.
Yeah, they're gonna be. I think FaZe will outperform G2 in this one. I'm more confident in FaZe
Yeah?
than G2.
Why is that?
Yeah,
Why?
because G2 are like 3 players that all look terrible at the fall major, and FaZe are 2 players that looked really good at the fall major, plus typical. So I
Yeah,
think
but that
they're
was the
gonna do
fall
better.
major.
That math
That's
adds
so
up
long
actually.
ago.
No, you're wrong, Curly. Actually,
I feel like G2. I feel like
Wait,
G2
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 as
did
a
the fall
squad.
major though. I think that's crazy
Yeah.
to do.
Why? The fall major is the only other international.
Well, they were
event,
playing
the
with
only other,
Dreams.
only
but
other
it's like
LAN.
it's like 3 or 4
Doesn't
months
matter
ago
though.
though.
The players are still the same though. Like they're not gonna suddenly show
I
up
mean,
and be
2 of
completely
them are,
different.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it matters. I think Chicago and JNAPS being comfortable. I think that matters. Like if they weren't comfortable with Drees or they wanted to play a certain way, and Drees wasn't facilitating that kind of play style, I could see
Drees
how
was
that
their
makes.
best player. He was their
I'm,
best player in the
I-
fall.
no,
I'm just saying that like part of Chicago and JNAPS looking bad might be mentality wise. They don't feel as comfortable with Drees, but I think they do look comfortable with Atomic. And I
But
think
they had
you
the
did-
exact same results with Drees in the fall major regionals as well. Didn't they win one? They finished second, and then not so good in one of the others. That's exactly what they did this split, but in
Yeah,
a
but-
different order.
But
The
the fall
worst
major
order
was
this time, by the way.
the fall major was comically bad for G2. I mean, if you look, especially if you look at like the Sandrock game, I mean, that was a series where, JNAPS in Chicago didn't even score a goal.
That was
And you can
amazing.
give all the credit over to Sandrock, and I absolutely like
That was amazing.
The bad timing on that. All I was thinking about, Johnny, I just gotta give you a compliment here, dude. The way you screamed when I I don't know who scored the goal.
Oh, and
Somebody scored.
Ahmad scored.
I'm
Oh,
also
the
Oh,
overtime.
yeah.
Oh my god, that was so perfect. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Was it 0 seconds or overtime?
It was
0
0
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's what it was. Yeah, okay.
All my
I was like,
point is
I
about
told
G2 was that was a historically poor game for G2, and I think it's crazy to think that they're gonna do that again.
Corelli, I think Sandrock will eliminate G2 again.
That's
I'll
fine.
tell you
No,
that far.
it's fine. I know. It's nothing about Sandrock. I think Sandrock is a good team. That's not the point, though. That's not what we're talking about. I think Sandrock can beat G2 on G2's best day. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that I don't think G2 will be so poor. Like they were poor in the fall split. They did not look good. I think they will be good this major.
I think
I'm
they're
not saying
going to
they're going
lose
to win
their
or
opening
beat
game to
the-
Evil Geniuses. I will keep
Oh
one
my
up.
gosh.
That's
The
fine.
EU bias coming out
I'm
strong right now.
tripling that.
Evil
double-
geniuses.
I
EG
I
are
think
gonna.
it's
It's a
crazy.
nightmare opener. G2, like everybody,
Oh,
this is the
man.
worst possible opening match they could have had.
I just think it's bad
terrible.
logic to take what someone did in the fall major and just copy and paste it to the winter major. I think
I
that's
just
bad
because
logic.
like it's not the same. It's just not the same. And like saying they're gonna beat like Sandrock are gonna beat him again, like you were saying, Corelli. I don't even think that matters. I don't think that
Yeah.
actually proves your point.
That's not
at
any
all.
argument. Yeah.
I think that G2 literally looked better in this split. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a bubble.
I don't think they do
G2
look better.
fans.
I think they look
better.
worse. No, they look worse because going
look
into the
worse?
fall major, I saw so many people predicting that they were going to win the whole event. So many people predicted they're going to get grand finals. Now people are like, I think they're going to get top 5. You can't tell me that they look better. People are saying they were going to win.
Wait, you're talking
fall
about
major.
G2?
G2. So many people said they're going to win.
You
And so
don't,
many
you
people
don't
had
think
them
they
making
don't
finals.
look better with Atomic compared to
I
Greece?
don't think I see anywhere near as many people saying G. I don't think I've
Ignore-
seen anyone say
ignore,
G2 is
ignore
going to win.
Reddit's predictions for a second here, Johnny.
No,
Let's
I'm
just think
talking like
about-
I'm talking like First Touch podcast predictions. I swear somebody predicted G2 to win it. I think multiple of those guys put G2 in the
no
final.
way! You're listening to the yap himself. Are you talking about teammates?
Oh.
I heard so many casters
Lots of
telling me that.
yapper.
Hey,
There's
so
so
many
many
casters-
casters. What?
Somebody like people thought G2 were going to make finals at Fall Major going into
Which
before
caster?
like before Fall Major. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to go find these predictions. I heard so many people saying G2 are going to do well, and I thought that's fair enough. I think that's a reasonable prediction. I don't hear anybody saying that G2 is going to win this one.
To be
Well,
fair,
maybe-
so
maybe
so now
somebody
you
else.
think
Hold
it's
on, hold on.
unreasonable because people aren't.
I think
Well,
people
no,
aren't as
all I'm
confident
saying
as
is
they
I
do.
think that
because
they
they've
look
seen the play
worse.
now.
I'm just saying
Okay.
I think they look worse now than they did going into the Fall Major, and the reason why is because they did badly at the Fall Major. So now we have to like reconsider.
But hold on, let's
do
back
think they
up
look
though.
worse, though.
That's fine, but let's back up though because I think nobody really knew what we were getting out of any of the teams going into the fall major. So I think now, even if you're the most hardcore NA fanboy ever for G2, I think you now know and understand what the EU teams are providing. So I think there are a lot more like Reddit opinions or whatever
True.
that are tempered because they have now seen the gameplay from 2 years off of international play.
Yes, I agree. But also, I'm checking. In the fall, G2 accumulated 921 total points, but then obviously some of that's fall major, and the fall was less points overall per event. And this one they got, again, they're on 921 right now. Before the final winter major, points have been added. They've almost had identical results with Atomic as they had with Drees. And I don't think that NA looks overall like... Do FaZe look better? Then they're kind of looking a bit...
I think so.
Not sure about them.
I think they do.
Complexity look worse. Envy look worse. So many teams in NA look worse. And G2 have the exact same results. But now everybody says, it's all fixed. Just for no reason. I think they look worse than they did with Drees going into the fall major. But I do think their results are going to be better, if you know what I mean. My take is that they look worse now, but I do agree they're maybe like going to do
So
better.
you're saying the
They did
results
so
are the same, but
badly.
they somehow look worse because of their fall major performance. But
No, I think
you're,
like
you're,
G2
you're
right
saying
now.
you're saying in the fall split online regionals and in the winter split online regionals, you're saying G2 looked better going
Yeah.
into the fall major than they do going into the winter major. That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
I-
Definitely. They
I
definitely
don't.
looked.
I want.
They definitely looked
What's your
better.
reasoning though? Because you're saying the results are the same.
Because
So
they won
you're not
regional
using
3.
results.
They won regional 3 in the fall. They were the champions. The regional champions. They're
Oh.
coming in hot to the fall
So
major.
everybody
They
has
just beat
recency
NRG.
bias, no?
Yeah, right now they just lost.
So you're
to
so you
to
have
else.
so you have the opposite of recency bias, right? No, I don't know.
I have like recency bias from 3 months ago.
You're just like what you're saying is so just because they didn't win the last event, they don't look as good. That's what you're saying, right?
All I'm saying is I think they look worse. I think that they look worse.
Because they didn't win the last event.
No, like I'm saying overall,
I
I'm
think they
less.
look better losing this split than they looked better losing last split. Quality losing this split, Johnny. Quality losing, bro. Come on.
No, actually, I'm on Johnny. I'm on Johnny's side now.
That
Hold
kind
on.
of makes sense.
You know what? I agree with Johnny too.
That kind of makes sense, though. That
I'll
kinda
stand
makes
alone
sense
on this hill. I don't care.
Oh no.
Because you could get swept, or you could lose 2-3. You know, it makes sense a little bit. You're
I'm so
losing.
sorry.
every-
Well,
My
no.
like summary is I think FaZe will do better than G2. I think G2 look better in coming into the fall, and yeah, I think it's reasonable to think G2 will do better, but you can't say that their winter or their fall major was irrelevant because it's a totally different team. It
I'm
was
not
totally
saying it's
different.
irrelevant, but I think judging G2
I
based
think
on
I
their,
think it's
like,
irrelevant. Sorry, like it's a completely different team though. You just said it.
I just
No,
think
but the
comfort
players
matters.
didn't-
Comfort
they-
matters.
Okay,
I-
what about this? Is why I think it's relevant. Like, why do you guys really think?
If
They
BDS
failed
replaced
in
Monkey
fall.
Moon with me, do you think that makes a difference? You think they're gonna win again?
It'll be better.
That's not the same.
It's a different team. It's a different team though, Johnny.
Not a fair example.
That's
If you said
exactly
if
the same.
no, Monkey is like the best player in the world, and you're
Oh, okay.
retired.
Now what are you trying to say?
Oh
What
man.
does that make Rizzo?
What the hell, man?
So who do you think is better, Drees or Atomic? Like, you think they're equal?
I mean, put them next, like side by side. I think Atomic's better.
Atomic, yeah.
Personally, yeah.
So
John,
but
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
know,
I think Atomic's better, but I also think that they kind of like they were on a good trajectory with Drees. They kind of figured out what they're doing. They won Regional 3 in the fall. They look good going into the winter major, into the fall major. I mean, and then they botched it. And I think the reason is that they were just under so much pressure. There was so much expectation of that team to do well,
Sure.
and they
Oh,
just
on
didn't
I mean,
do well
that's fair.
on G2
That's
in
fair
the
to
fall
say.
major.
I
I
don't
think that
disagree
I
with that.
really think that those players that they didn't perform because Drees, that guy had so much pressure on him, obviously.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then
I agree.
Chicago and JNAPS, they're, finally they've managed to get that win for the first time in I don't know how long. That's a lot of pressure as well. Oh,
Wow,
Rizzo's
I
gone
wouldn't-
from the.
I wouldn't say
Oh,
it
no,
was.
you're still
It
here.
was that. It wasn't that long, Johnny.
Well,
I wouldn't
maybe
say. I wouldn't say
now-
they finally
No,
managed
with-
to get
Look,
a
maybe
win.
now that they
With
didn't win,
Drees.
maybe now that they didn't win the third regional, they're going to be
that's-
hungrier. So they're
Maybe.
actually going to perform well in the winter split. Also,
Okay, but
different
here's
format.
here's common ground. I think
Uh-huh.
you would agree that there's tons of pressure in G2.
Sure.
Yeah,
Now they made a
always.
transfer.
Always
They made-
yeah,
vouch.
always.
Vouch always.
Always. Plus, they just made a transfer that they need to prove was a good idea.
True.
Plus, they did terribly in fall, so they have to do well this time to make up for it. Plus ratio, plus L.
Okay. Plus, why be
Plus E-
better? But
E
You got me. You got me.
Why be?
but I forgot where I was going. Honestly, maybe I'll come back to it.
There's
I-
pressure
I-
on them. There's
I got
pressure.
ratioed
Agree,
and I cracked under pressure.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying G2 is gonna come out and like just fucking destroy everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that I think G2. I think G2's looked better. But
I think they're in a better spot as a team, even if
Yeah.
like North America as a whole has looked worse this split, which I would agree with. But like I think G2 as a team have looked better, even with the competition not being perceivably as fierce. Because Complexity struggled and none of those like A tier teams in NA have really stepped up to the plate until Oxygen in Regional 3. So really in the last two regionals, they weren't really that relevant. But like other than those 5 teams, like I think that's a reasonable argument against G2. But to me, they do still look better in a vacuum as a team, and I do think that's gonna serve them well in the major.
We'll see. They look pretty good with Drees winning that Regional 3 in the fall.
yeah, I mean,
I
that
think a lot of
Drees
people
guy
have to go
was
rewatch
sick.
that. Go rewatch that Regional 3 grand final where didn't they beat NRG?
Oh, I remember what I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say.
No, they beat
now.
Envy. They beat Envy in
Yeah.
like a crazy 21 game set, and everybody's like, "This
Oh,
is the
I
highest."
remember that.
Right,
Everybody,
right.
everybody's
Oh,
saying
yeah,
this
that
is the
was
highest
nuts.
level Rock League we've ever seen. Drees,
Yeah.
JNFs, and
I went to
Chicago. are
every
pumping
Yeah.
up.
game.
I mean, Drees was so
Yeah.
much better than the other guy. So
I didn't deserve that.
I think you really didn't.
So this is a safe space, man. Come on. It's a
I think
Oh,
people
just get
forget.
this
How,
straight.
people forget how good they looked with Drees going into the fall
Don't
majors.
say
It
facts.
looked
You
good.
just saying facts.
Did they actually
Oh,
have
no.
the same results like with Drees and Atomic? Like
I was trying to look, but the points are different. So it's hard to
yeah, okay.
figure it out. And I think there's a chance for it to be, different results as well. Because there's like the chance to finish 6th equal in this one. You couldn't do that in the fall.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, but do you
but
think
it's
now
very
that,
similar.
now that G2 has less pressure because so many people predicted them to win the whole thing, right? For fall, but now in winter, like nobody's predicting them, like you said. Do you think that's less pressure and they will be able to perform better because of that?
Is it less pressure though? Is there more or less pressure in G2 for this one? That's the question.
I think less.
I think less.
Or
I think more only because
think
it's
more.
an NA crowd. I think they're going to get a lot of support, and I mean, while that's nice for people to cheer for you, I feel like you also have a lot of like G2 fans there. You know what I mean?
well, it's like we were talking about with FaZe and Sypical, like that raised the expectation from FaZe fans, right? And the players, I'm sure as well. I think the same applies here. Atomic switching over, G2 fans think this is the championship move.
I don't think
you know?
that's the same though, like in relation from G2 to FaZe, because FaZe had a good performance at the major, whereas G2 was like very it was like a letdown, right, to a lot of people.
Wouldn't that mean that there's still more pressure on G2 because they performed so poorly at the fall major, made the roster change, and if they have another middling result, like even if they outperform their fall major performance, if it's still middling, if it's not even close to top 4, that's going to be a disappointment, right?
I think if they get like, I don't know about top 4, but I think if they get last place, obviously they're gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
But
by the way, I was just gonna say, so I checked all the results. In the fall, G2 got knocked out in the quarters, then they came second, and then they came first. And then in the winter, they got 6th place, which wasn't possible in the fall. If you knocked out in the quarters, you're 5th to 8th. So it's kind of the same. 6th place, 5th to 8th, same. Then they came first, which is, a result they got in fall. Then they came third. So I would argue that the results they split are worse because they got first, third, and
Yeah, I mean by
equal.
one series.
What do you mean? They're the
First,
same.
they got first.
No.
No, they got first, third, and 5th equal. They split. Last time they got first, second, and 5th equal. So they did better in the fall.
Right. That's
actually
one series, though, right?
Yeah, but my point is, they did by the results. They did do better in the fall.
But don't they play more series in this format anyway? Isn't it like by one series or no? Like if you were to go,
I don't think so. I think they technically did better in the fall, but I mean, yeah, the order also
actually, the fall split was a little bit better for G2. Oh.
Yeah, like that plus the pressure. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a lot of pressure to prove that transfer is good for LAN.
I guess it just depends on how you view it. I mean, I agree with the point though, Johnny, that like it's the same thing with FaZe, right? You make the roster change, we expect them to like be so much better, but the bar is already set so high. So
yeah,
I mean, I
guess it doesn't really matter what move they made, right?
Yeah, to me, they just basically did the same thing. So I mean, is that bad or good? I don't know. That's all domestic results too. I mean, who knows how they're going to do internationally? So.
I think if they play similarly at the major, though, you could just do it like Hootie Who was saying, and just be like, well, they're kind of a new team. You gotta give them some time to gel. They got some leeway there.
I feel like you have to assume that the team is probably in like a better headspace too, because there had been so many rumors about the Drees roster change forever, and now with the Atomic,
true.
It seems like
That's a good point.
Him,
yeah.
So maybe they're more comfortable that way. I agree. There's definitely pressure on both them and FaZe because they made moves that the community just didn't like, and so they have to perform. But
I still think there's a lot more pressure on FaZe.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's actually a really good point, Hoodie. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't even think we touched on like the perception of like how good their performance would be with. Or I'm sorry, how much people would talk about the roster change. Like people were calling for Drees' head, like regional 2 of last split
regularly.
Yeah, like
every time they lose.
So
poor,
like now,
poor guy. I wonder what that feels like.
Like I mean, obviously that's annoying. No. Like you don't have to even be the guy to know that definitely is going to disrupt some stuff. So like I don't think anyone's calling for Atomic to like step down or anything.
Luckily,
like
that. I don't think I've ever seen typical like tweet or like every time he tweets it's like that was probably Chrome. That was back in the day. So like typical probably doesn't even read any of the hate because is he ever like even on social media? So
that's true.
I think FaZe are fine. They're good. Oh, by the way, I've got a question about the major. So last major, the 2 OCE teams got 10th and 10th and 11th, I think, which is like the last round they got eliminated, last round of Swiss. Do you guys think that they're gonna outperform South America again?
No, sorry, I'm just an OCE hater.
I can't see.
No reason.
I don't even watch OCE, but I just know.
I don't know. I just think they got lucky. That's just all I feel like.
I feel like
me and Asper are on the same page. We just
we just know. We just know.
I feel like Furia definitely underperformed last major.
I agree.
Is that a
I think that is
that's Sam, right?
That's
Sam.
Yeah,
okay.
Sam.
Is that Card?
Card, Yan, and
yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. They're better.
I think it's hard. It's hard.
They got the rematch. They got Renegades Furia in the same group again, so they're gonna play.
I'm gonna say the OCE are. It's tough because like South America really disappointed in the fall major. I actually thought Era played better than I expected. I did not expect Era to like be that competitive, but they were competitive despite finishing. I think they finished 15th.
Yeah, they got
overall.
Tokyo.
Yeah,
they nearly beat Vitality actually.
They almost beat Vitality. and
They
they
played NRG
also
well, too.
played NRG close as well.
They nearly went 2-0 up on NRG on the B side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should have gone 2-0 up. Actually,
South
I think
America
they missed
finished
an
top
I
opening.
think-
8 though. Complexity was
think-
good.
Yeah, I think Sam
True.
are still a threat, and I think
Complexity.
just based Ground Zero's not here, so I think I will say Sam will perform better than OCE this time around. I don't know if Renegade. I don't know if CJ is gonna get that fever magic again. He
Wait,
might.
you don't back Banana Head and Scrub?
you
No,
know,
no.
Super lucky.
Johnny, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm here solely for the Scrub v Scrub storyline, and
Yeah,
that's it.
Scrub
That's-
versus Scrub Killer is happening in Group G.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's
It's
2
gonna be
scrubs.
great.
There's Scrub and Scrub Killer. So Scrub is from OCE, and then Scrub Killer, of
Oh,
course.
that'd be
European.
like funny if like
They're
Scrub
actually
wins,
playing.
and like he's like literally a scrub killer. Like
Nah, we want OCE. Like, I would love to be wrong. I would love to be proved wrong with this one, but
I mean, I
kinda
thought
don't.
the
Like,
same
I
thing
would
in
like
the
to
fall
see
major, and I
OC
was wrong.
I would
so.
love to see OC just upset the entire group or something. I think that'd be hilarious. I would be amazed and shocked, and it'd be the best viewing experience ever. You know?
I'm not an OCE hater. I can't see it though. Like
Nah, I'm an OC.
But like I would want to see them like I want to see them do good.
No, not actually. I
But-
don't see them doing well.
I think there's
Yeah,
a
I
chance that
can't-
Pioneers
I
could
can't
finish
see.
ahead of Team Secret. Like I think Pioneers could maybe finish ahead of them, but other than that, like I don't see them finishing above Furia. I don't see Pioneers or Renegades. If Furia actually perform this time to their skill level, then I don't think that any 3 of those teams from OCE or SAM will finish ahead of Furia.
Yeah, I just see Sam being much more competitive, just like just like I expected last major. Even though I don't really know if you would.
Well, Furia, they did actually beat G2. Like they were 2-1 down. They came back to beat them
Yeah.
in the fall.
I do
Oh,
remember
They were good.
But that's
Yeah.
always the fun part is seeing like the surprise, the upset, or whatever. Like even just seeing something like that, it's just
I'm here for Banana Head takeover, man. Bring it.
Pioneers
if Banana
roster,
Head
too,
gets
they-
first.
Is that a player's name? Banana Head?
Yeah, Banana Head.
Oh my
The Pioneers
God.
roster throughout
No,
this
we-
winter split, their best performance was like a 3rd place finish.
No, didn't they not come second one time? I thought they came second in the first one.
Oh no, you're right. It was 4 Kitten at that point. You're right.
Yeah.
But they so they don't have any, and they got second. I'm sorry, they got second in the second event as well. But they don't have any wins throughout this split.
Yeah.
I think
They were, like,
if OCE,
three.
I think if OCE start queuing NA servers, they'll get up there with Sam. That's the
yeah,
plan.
yeah,
I-
on
I-
350 ping.
US West.
Let me tell you, man.
What's that ping over there?
I don't know, but they don't care.
It's
They
not like
don't care about the ping. They'll just queue it, man.
They
They
can
don't
queue
care about
US
the ping.
West. It's like 200 ping.
Oh,
Ping is an
only
imaginary
200?
number over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've played against OC players. They queue it sometimes.
They queue US West though, yeah. They
Yeah.
get like
Yeah.
it's like anything between 150 and 180 on like decent servers.
I honestly do feel like that helps Sam though get better. Obviously it's a meme, but I genuinely do
100%.
think it helped them
Yeah,
get
yeah,
No,
better.
it does, yeah. This is like I for the longest time kept saying this because I was like I think Sandrock are gonna do really well. They practice EU server all day on
Yeah.
like 90 ping. It's not even 140 like Sam.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, nah. It's not that big of a help, but it
No,
is. Like,
there's
you're
no
playing
way
on a major
there's
server.
no way people didn't believe you when you said that's such a big thing. Being able to play against like a highly competitive region like OCE
Everything-
is literally an island. Like
Rizzo,
what
I
were they gonna
talked up
play against?
Sandrock. I talked them up so much that everybody disregarded everything I said as just blatant fanboyism going into like
What,
the fall major.
Since they're gonna have their full roster here, what do you think that they can, like a realistic prediction here for them in this major?
oh yeah, we could do
Uh,
like a group D
yeah.
prediction here too. That one's got Dignitas, KCP, the Pioneers, which I don't even remember which team is that.
That's Banana Head's team.
Oh, yeah, that's
Banana
Banana
yeah.
Heads. Okay, and then Sandrock and
Okay.
SSG. So I
Banana
think,
Head.
oh my god, I think that's got to be like the most stacked group, no?
I had
I
Sandrock
think Group
top
C.
6.
Group C is a group of death, then Group D, I think.
Oh, okay.
C and D.
Mm,
Yeah.
So look at Group C. Team Secret, by the way, that team in Group C is the #1 SAM team in points, but they're probably the #2 SAM team in strength because Furia
Yeah.
just didn't do well in the first one, and then they won the next 2. But Secret are like, they're excellent. They're very, very good.
Who's on that team?
They've got Math, he played on
Oh,
Era
Math.
Eternity, and then he
Yeah.
joined Secret this split. They've
And
also got
Sadness.
Sadness, who's a KBM player, I believe, And they've
Oh.
got Knight, who's 15, and he's Mechanical God. So
Well,
I
there
don't
you
need to
go.
tell you anything else.
Nice is a
He's
good-
like
nice
the
is
next
good.
Yan.
That's
for
all you
sure.
need, man. A
Yeah.
mechanical,
true.
mechanical 15-year-old.
Young prodigy.
Dang.
Dude,
I
this,
think,
this group D,
Cyber
look,
Group-
I don't even know where to go. Like, I'm gonna guess Pioneers last. Like, I think that's obvious from what I said earlier.
I put
I
it
wa-
last as well.
Yeah.
Rizzo, guess what I predicted for Group D? He'll never guess.
Actually, I mean, that one's actually a hard one. Like, I don't know.
Just think about the impressions. What would I do?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, you put Sandrock first, 3-0.
No?
You put Pioneers first, then.
No, that's not reasonable. I went for the three-way tie, of course, for first.
Oh,
The two,
well,
all 2-1s.
That's
You're
what I
being too-
have.
You're being too reasonable. That's too reasonable.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I had Space Station over Dig, which I think Corelli did.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I put Sandrock over Space Station, and then Dig over Sandrock. So
I think
I have them all
Sandrock
being
was
each
it.
other.
Yeah.
So is that based on game differentials? Like, how do they? Oh no, there's tiebreaker
So
matches. Okay.
three-way ties, the team with the worst game differential is either taken out of the tie on the bottom or on the top, depending on where the three-way tie is.
Yeah.
If it's a three-way tie at the top of the group, you don't get to win a group with a with game differential. You'd just be put third, and then the other two play the head-to-head. It's a bit confusing, but yeah, there would be one actual tiebreaker matchup in that
Tiebreaker
scenario.
match would be really cool to see in that one.
Mm-hmm.
The tiebreakers are going to be hype at LAN.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Because
Yes,
you're
they
Those
going
are
to be
important,
tiebreaking
too.
for first and tiebreaking for last. So those are going to be hype.
Has Rattles talked a lot of trash about OCE? Because that's something that he's going to need to back up now.
Reynolds hasn't been
Nah,
chirping
man.
at all.
He's been quiet
It's
recently.
quiet.
He's right. He's pre-writing. He's got him in his notes right now.
He's scheduled for
The
mid-series.
giraffe.
I don't even want
He's
to see
waiting
the
for the
drafts,
dubs
man.
I
It's
saw
like
some.
no pre-dub tweets.
I saw some League of Legends players do this, where they like someone in like the bot lane would pre-schedule their tweet for when they play, and they'd be like, "Hey, just wanted to tweet out. I should be crushing bot lane right now. Like, should be up like 3-0."
That's so
And
good.
they like, shared it
love that.
on the broadcast as well. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
It could just get why are they like? I mean, it's such a risk to draft it. They should just get like social media manager to remove the
I think
risk.
that was like the funny part, 'cause he wasn't smashing bot lane. I think they were actually losing, but he had like scheduled the tweet, so it was like funny.
I love that.
Okay, so we talked about pressure with G2 and FaZe, but do you think there's any additional pressure with Sandrock now that they actually have their full roster here?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I feel like if you're from a minor region, you'll never have expectations.
I don't
I-
know. I feel like Sandrock
I think
do have
that applies to
expectations.
everyone
I mean-
but Sandrock.
Yeah,
Sandrock is the
it's-
exception there.
Like you finished top
But
8 and you
it's
look like you could
still-
take the whole tournament. You have expectations now. You know.
I don't know.
I'm sure
It's
there's
still
pressure,
like-
but I bet they're
And
excited
with
to
a
play, too.
sub, that's what they're top 8
Yeah.
with a sub.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
Oh,
what
that
can they
is
do with
true.
their
I forgot they
full
had a
roster?
sub last time. Yeah.
And you're
Mhm.
thinking like, wow, that game 7 definitely could have gone differently. Like they could have gotten top 4. You know.
If
So
they had like their original or something.
well, I mean, no, even with Senso, even with like on that day, the way they were looking, they looked like
Yeah.
they could have been a top 4 team.
Well, they lost 3 games, 3 1-goal games to NRG. Then they won games 4 and 5, and then game 6 was 1-0 after Sandrock had so many chances and they just couldn't put it away.
Yeah.
So if they got game 7, it would have been really interesting. But NRG played well in playoffs too, so yeah, it doesn't even look bad on Sandrock's part to lose that.
It's
I
hard
think
for
they
me
got
to bet
pressure,
against Sandrock with Khaled in that group overall. But yeah, I think they have a lot of pressure to at least perform the same amount.
Yeah, I think they have more pressure now for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're all 3 going to be there. I know we saw those tweets from Ahmed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ahmed tweeted that he had exams, and then he tweeted
Yeah.
that he was going to try and get them moved, but if he can't get them moved, he's not going. And then he tweeted that he did actually get them moved. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
super hyped to see that
What's
he's able
happening
to
here?
go.
So was I.
I
They've
can't. I
got
can't wait to see
really-
him play.
Back to back, 2 different players have exams. That's so awful.
The crazy thing for them is though, like when Khaled announced that he couldn't go to the fall one, or when they announced Khaled couldn't go, immediately I was just thinking, okay, TRK is going to play his Falcons role. He's going to be third man now, because Khaled is that team's third man, but TRK can also do that. And if Ahmad can't go, Senzo comes in. He'll be Ahmad. He'll just ball chase, and Khaled will be third man. You'll get to see TRK like move forward more. So they'd actually probably be fine even if Ahmad couldn't go. Genuinely, they'd still be a top 8 team.
Is Senzo still
Very
their
good.
sub?
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I genuinely, when I heard that I couldn't go, I was like, well, as long as they have like Senzo, Kyle, and TRK, they're actually probably going to be fine. I don't doubt that team's ability to be good. But obviously, it's better to play with the main roster that they've won 6 events with regionally.
Group D seems impossible to actually predict. Like I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I could see all 3 of these teams being in first,
Yeah.
second, third. Like Pioneers.
I saw
fourth,
I
but-
saw a comment. There's a post on Reddit where Monkey Moon's predictions were done on a French streamer's channel, and he put Sandrock 6th place. He had them beating SSG in groups and Pioneers
Mhm.
and losing a dig. And then he had them making a lower bracket run where they beat, I think, I think they beat G2 and V1 in Monkey Moon's bracket. So he had a lot of respect for them. And
I
then
have
somebody explained. I put them in the same place. So
I have
Monkey
a
Moon
beating
put them
EG
there.
in phase.
He said that, well, Monkey Moon says that he still thinks, even after Sandrock's success, people underrate them. Even after that,
Wow.
he still thinks they're underrated because he says that when they play well, because he scrimmed them a lot, they're just as good as Dignitas. And Dignitas is a team that's been like mopping BDS.
Oh, Monkey Moon also
Jeez.
picked them to beat Queso too.
Oh, that's right. He didn't have them beating V1. He had them beating Queso. Yeah. Queso and G2, I believe.
I would love to see that.
Or was it
I would
Queso
love
and
to see
EG?
SRG.
I kind of want
Top
to.
four,
I'm not gonna
top
lie,
two,
I
I would love
really
that.
want to see them make grand finals. I'd love
too.
to.
I can
see
see
that
it.
would be
love it.
crazy.
I can see
I would
it.
hard
love
root
it.
for them. I don't care who it is. I would just
that
hard
would
root for
be sick.
SRG.
I can
Well,
see it.
luckily, there's a ton of pressure on them because they've got if they've got the main roster. But luckily, they've played like a whole bunch of LANs in Saudi Arabia with crowds during the last couple of years. So they've got more LAN experience with crowds than anyone going into this event, like recent LAN experience, which might be helpful if they make it to the crowd part. The problem is getting to that crowd part, they're going to need to play through days where they're probably jet lagged because I doubt they're going to fly in like super early.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, is there no
they're-
crowd day one?
not
no.
till I can't remember
No.
what day it is, but
Until
yeah,
they
not
like
day one.
basically once they get past groups,
Oh,
that's when
okay.
there's a crowd.
Yeah. It's the last
Yeah.
2 days.
Saudi
Oh.
Arabia to LA is 11-hour time difference, and the rough like
Jeez.
how long it takes to get over jet lag is roughly 1 day per hour of time zone difference. So 11 days for them, and I doubt they're going to be there for 11 days. So they'll probably still be a bit jet lagged. Well, quite badly jet lagged maybe.
That's a bit
Which is
ridiculous.
tough.
It can help them.
Good news is
Depends how
flying
early
to
they
that
go.
direction is a bit
Yeah.
easier because if they just stay up really, really late, like a couple days before they go, at least their sleep schedule will be good. So I think they'll probably be they'll be fine. They're just gonna scuff up their sleep schedules. We'll
All
see.
right, let's check out Group C here as well. We got Evil Geniuses who didn't make the last major. I think they were kind of I don't know if they were expected, but they were really close last split, right?
One series away. They played Semper
Yeah.
for the spot actually in
Yeah.
quarters.
Yeah.
And Semper got it.
So basically, EG and Semper switched this time around. G2 Esports, Team BDS, and Team Secret.
I have BDS winning the group.
I could see that. You know, I don't think I really disagree there. Just taking a second.
BDS is
to
not
Fair
bad.
enough.
I mean, they're pretty good.
I feel like G2 has a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
You think so?
How about that
Just
opener?
a-
EG G2 EG. What's happening?
Well, apparently you
Oh,
think EG is going to
I know you have EG. I have G2. So
Hey,
I think
my-
G2 is going to be EG.
That was a
I
tough
don't.
one.
Oh my god, I'm just.
I like Rizex. Let's go EG.
I think EG, but
Rizek the stick.
I think G2 is gonna beat BDS.
Oh,
oh,
Mm.
And still finish second. Oh no, do you have them winning the group then?
Wait, is that possible?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, how would they win it though? If
Yeah,
if they're both 2-1,
tie.
they would have a tiebreaker and play
Tiebreaker.
again.
Yeah.
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 it'd be
Okay,
nice.
well they take one of those series then. I would say BDS still finishes top of the group then, but BDS would win the tiebreaker if that was
Oh,
the
so you
case.
think G2 will beat them and then BDS will get the revenge in the
Yeah.
tiebreaker?
Yep.
That's
That's
a
the
good impression.
exact,
Absolutely, I
very
see that,
specific
yeah.
prediction. That's what's gonna happen though.
I like it.
That's what I see.
I think
What
Team
about-
Secret has a big chance to play spoiler in this group because they are a good team, and I think that they have a chance to beat an Evil Geniuses and even a chance to beat a BDS. You know, BDS aren't perfect in group stage. Neither are G2. I think that if you underrate this Team Secret team, they might surprise you. Again, in a best of 5 group, that's where upsets tend to happen. and that could throw a wrench into this entire Group C. All it takes is for Team Secret to beat just one of these teams to throw off the balance completely. And I think
What if
that on the right time they
G2
could.
lose, or Jorby? What if G2 lose to EG, as I fear? Then they play Team Secret next.
Exactly.
Oh,
They're just gonna
okay.
come like dead
Trap
last in
game.
the group at that point. Like,
Listen, in a world where EG beat G2, and then their very next match is against Team Secret, then yes, I could totally see G2 flopping out and losing the entire group. But I don't think
Oh
G2
my
are going to lose
goodness.
to EG.
I
I
mean,
just don't think that's going to happen.
they lost to Shopify Rebellion in their opening like group in the split, so it's possible. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. No arguments there.
Oh my god.
I could see it. No, the reason, so I don't know any of EG's scrim results specifically for the fall major, because EG were scrimming, so were Queso. They were scrimming teams who came over for the fall major when they were in Europe. And I don't know any of the specific results, but I do know that everybody was telling me that EG are farming scrims. Like, they're just 7-0ing teams. They have a 1 hour scrim slot. EG win all 7 games. Then
So
the
they're
team
going to
goes on to
lose.
the next one. No, but my point is, like, what if G2? I reckon G2 scrims were probably not going that well, because on the first day of international scrims, I messaged Jazzo. I was like, "Do you guys want to your scrim against I think it was Furia streamed?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And Furia slapped them. Then like 2 days later, I asked Jazzo like, "Oh, do you want your scrim against BDS streamed?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "What about change?" So I'm guessing scrims aren't going too well for G2 there. That's all I can read into that. I didn't ask any more questions. So there's a decent chance, and again, I'm just assuming here, there's a decent chance that EG scrimmed G2 because they were scrimming everybody. And if they did, maybe EG just like 8-0'd them, and now G2 are like, oh no, this is the team that beat us like 8 times. We're in trouble.
And EG's like the opposite situation mentally from G2, where they're just like happy to be there. They're going to be excited to play. Whereas
Exactly.
G2 is probably going to feel that pressure. And like you said, if they come off a tough loss to EG, they're already going to be flustered and frustrated. And then if Team Secret, sneak a couple early goals in or sneak that first game, it's definitely a trap situation.
I back G2 to make it out of the group. I do actually back them to make it out of the group, though. This is before people.
You're saying over Team
think I'm-
Secret?
Yeah. Before
I
people
can
think I'm going
see
that
Evil
far.
Geniuses performing well. It's not that I can't. I just I think that group is really tough for them. But I think if any team we're going to play spoiler in that kind of group, Evil Genius is definitely up there for teams that could play that.
Oh, thank you for the raid, Astro. Thank you.
But yeah.
Appreciate you.
We'll see. If Evil Geniuses beat G2, this is like in Sweden when I got into an argument with Gregan about how I had no faith in Semper. Like I just wasn't convinced by their gameplay at all that they were going to do well in the fall major. And Gregan's like, no, Jorpy, listen, like you got to understand. Here's all these very logical reasons. And I was like, that's great. Like you could say that, but I'm just going with the eye test here. And then Semper finished top 4 at LAN.
Yeah, but Gregan also said this going into this one that he thinks NA are going to significantly outperform Europe. So he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just impression farming as well this whole time.
Yeah, but he was right. Just like you're like, oh yeah, I'm impressed because you're not impression farming picking EG to beat G2, right? But then you're gonna end up being right about it somehow.
We'll see. Yeah, Gregan did say that he thinks that NA are gonna smash EU this time.
That's
that was
fair.
so
Wait, what was
interesting.
his reasoning?
I don't know if I want to doubt Gregan anymore. So
yeah, you'll have to go ask him. Honestly, I can't explain. Like I was listening to it, I'm like, there's no shot. This is a real take. That's all I was thinking. I was like,
He's farming.
there's no shot. I don't believe that he believes. I don't believe that he believes this. That's what I was thinking. So I don't remember his specific answer for reasons.
All right. Final group we got, Group B. We did this in like the weirdest order, by the way. Endpoint, Furia, NRG, and Renegades.
I have the
top of the group, NRG. I'll say it. Bold take. I'll do it though.
It's not that bold. I think that's fair. It's obvious.
Oh, Johnny's cringing. Sorry,
No,
bro.
I think that they're also going to top, but of course, I had to go for some interesting predictions on this one. So I went for not the 3-way tie, but the 2-way tie for first and third. So I had Endpoint and
I like
NRG
it.
tying. And then I had NRG winning the tiebreaker to win the group. So yeah.
you know what? I think Furia take this group.
I was about to
Oh
say
my.
there is an avenue where Furia takes this group.
Oh
I could
my.
totally see
Yeah.
NRG sleeping a little
Okay,
early.
They're
A
farming.
little early sleeping.
They're
Endpoint,
farming.
they're caught
Dude, they want
sleeping a
some
little
precious,
bit.
man.
Just
No,
tweet
dude.
it, bro. Just tweet it. Just tweet it.
No,
I'm
I'm backing up Jorby on this one. I
Go for
really
it,
am.
Corelli.
I
Go
don't
for it.
have it. I don't have it, but I mean, okay, for the record, I have energy top in the group. But with what Jorby just said, I think Furia has a very good opportunity. I picked Furia in round 1 to upset NRG, and I think that's a very good start for Furia. So, because I feel like round 1 matchups and like group stage, like obviously we all know NRG's been very like poor or like at least not like super strong, and I feel like Furia is the type of team, especially these SAM teams that just come out like bodies flying everywhere. I feel like what we saw from NRG against Era will be repeated by Furia, and I think Furia can come out on top. So I think they start off their day right, which is I think really important for your group stage.
And I don't think we're going to see the same Furia team we saw at the Fall Major. I don't know what happened to them when, the actual tournament came around, but they did not look how they looked before that week had started, because they had a bunch of scrims. Some of their scrims were streamed. And I think there was, I forget who hosted
Reynolds
the
event.
mini tournament, the Reynolds event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furia looked really competitive in that.
Yeah.
I think that just based off of what I've seen from them this split, obviously, like, you're only gonna be able to pull so much from like online South American events, but they look really good. And I think that we're not going to see Renegades beat Furia again. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think Furia now, with a little bit of experience and in the group stage with still no crowd, I think that's a comfortable position for them to be in. They are in a spot where NRG and Endpoint can't sleep against them, and Furia also kind of have less to lose. And as far as like the, if they lose to any of these teams, even Renegades, I mean, Renegades might be another disappointing performance, but it wouldn't be on the same level as NRG losing to Furia in groups, which could absolutely happen. I don't think NRG are as strong in group play as they are in bracket. And again, best of fives. It has happened. Literally has happened. In just as early as soon as the Fall Major. So I don't think I'm completely insane picking Furia. When I do my full predictions, I'm gonna stick by it. Furia #1, baby, out of Group B into the upper bracket.
I love it.
Winning the group, imagine.
Winning the group versus Endpoint and Energy. Like, it's not even, like, if it was just Energy or just Endpoint, I could be like, okay, maybe you're onto something. But both of them?
Both.
I don't know.
I'm not with you on that.
We're in wild times, man. We're in wild
know,
times.
actually-
roll the dice.
I'm legitimately thinking, and I didn't want to say it because I'm an avid OCE hater, but I legitimately could see Furia getting last in this group. And like, I got pretty high praise for Sam too, but seeing like, just seeing the matchups, I could just see Renegades taking it over Furia, and like just that series alone, right? Like if Endpoint Energy just dominate, like
There's just no way.
Renegades
Have you
taken.
watched the replays of the loss? If you haven't, I would recommend it. Watch the Renegades 3-0 of Furia from the Fall Major. They
I've not seen it.
3-0'd them. Watch the replays because I've watched them back a couple times. And it's unreal because Furia just have absolutely no respect for Renegades. Like, there'll be a Furia player sitting in the net, and then a Renegades player is up for a double tap, and the Furia player will just leave the net like, well, I mean, obviously he's going to miss that. He's not hitting the ball. Then the Renegades player hits the ball, and the Furia player's like, oh, man, I didn't think he was going to hit this. And I'm watching it thinking, I would have given my, like, Grand Champ ranked opponents the respect on that one. I'd be like, he might hit that. You never know. You don't have to be that good to just make contact on the ball there. Like, they just had no respect at all. They were like, we're just so much better than this team. We can do whatever we want, and we're going to win. And then they, showed no respect and they lost.
So are you thinking this time around they're going to be like, oh, they can hit the ball, so we should actually play defense sort of thing?
Yeah, I think this time they'll be like, okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt on these plays. Maybe they actually have the shot from that position. Maybe they actually have the touch. I just think they're smart enough to watch those replays. It wasn't hard for me to watch that and be like, well, we probably should have just like.
So you're saying they were
Giving it
just
some
like
respect.
such easy, like dumb mistakes that like it's very
It's like, imagine
easy to
if you're
flip
the
that around.
only player back and you're in net and somebody's up for a tight angle double tap and you're in the goal, you're not going to go, let me just drive off the goal line and assume that he's missing that. You're
Yeah.
going to wait, see if he misses it. And if he does, then you go. Or if he hits it, no problem. You're there for the save. They literally just kept leaving the net and assuming that the Renegades are going to miss the ball.
Oh,
Multiple times.
So it It's just bad. I mean, it just sounds
They're like,
bad.
"Ah,
Like
it's
some,
from
it
OCE,
really
they-"
sounds like something I do not want to watch. Like it was just bad.
No, I'd
gameplay.
watch it. It's they scored a lot of bangers as well. Like Furia scored some bangers of
Oh,
goals,
okay.
but their decision making was so bad. I'm thinking there's no way that they can't watch and learn from this. They must watch this and learn because
Well,
it's
that's what
so
I'm
obvious.
thinking. Because like
what they're doing.
Furia is such like a, I mean, Sam in general, there's very heavy aggro playstyle. It's like it doesn't translate well on lands at times, and that's why I could just do
Just in
like Renegades.
defense, they're just not careful enough. But you're
Yeah.
right, Renegades. I mean, if they do the same thing, if Fury have shown no respect to Renegades, then they could lose. They probably deserve to lose. But
I'll never predict a win for
surely-
them again if that happens.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides here, Jorby. So I
That's
don't know.
okay, man.
I
Look, I'm
guess-
used to standing on hills by myself, even if you stood there with me at the start. Like you can leave me, it's fine.
Also, I know Garrett's in chat. He was saying, I'm assuming he was talking about Jorby, or maybe me, I can't tell, but he was saying, he said our start at fall major matters, but G2 doesn't, or G2's doesn't. And-
Ah, got him.
No.
Got
The argument is more about the group stage that happened in winter, not fall. I mean, you guys finished second at fall, so like, I mean, I'm not really going to criticize that much, but I mean, I think there's some fair criticisms, even though you guys are
You're
coming up
vulnerable.
against, you guys are winning against like gentlemen. You guys shouldn't be going to game 5 with them in our RBG and playing from behind against Torrent and stuff like that. So I think there's some fair criticisms to say that like NRG
Yeah.
hasn't been like dominant. So
Yeah, Garrett, you weren't like +10, in each of your group games. So
No, I
you
think
know,
Garrett
that's
probably
your fault,
likes.
man.
If I was to guess, I think Garrett likes your prediction of him. I also think he wants you to predict G2 to do badly. I'm just.
That's what he said. He said that he doesn't like being predicted to
that's,
win.
he said that's what matters most, being +10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to kill every close quals team, Garrett. You have to. Otherwise, you guys are bad.
Yeah, you drop a game, man, washed.
They're
Appreciate
working on it. They're working on it.
Talking about that next scrim.
Class.
Does anybody have? I mean, I'm not gonna go through like an entire mock bracket or whatever, because obviously we have different predictions. But if you had to pick a winner, who is it? Or two? You could maybe two.
Like
You're
the
not,
whole
I'm
you're
thing.
really-
not feeling
I'm-
as
I'm
ballsy.
really
Yeah,
boring.
What-
I'm really
what's the
boring.
final?
My ideal final would be Queso SRG.
Sure, ideal final. Yeah, that's a good one. Queso
Oh,
SRG. That could
is
be
this
fun.
is this heart final what you want the final to be, or like
That's what mine
you-
was, yeah. But it's
Queso
also, I think,
SRG.
reasonable too.
Yeah, it's fair enough, I'd say.
I just think it's gonna be NRG BDS again.
Oh,
You're,
that's boring.
you're probably
though.
right.
I'm sorry, but like this is just the way these things go. Like you don't want it to happen, but
Yeah.
it's just the natural course of Rocket League, man.
I was thinking phase BDS somewhere along that line.
You're pulling for FaZe as?
Yeah. Those my boys, bro. I got a rope for them. Also, they're good, so
That's
I can do it.
that helps.
All right, I've got two teams that no one has said yet, so this is pretty good. Oh wait, no,
great.
somebody said one of them. I've got Queso Dig. That's my final. But I want to make a disclaimer. Before I saw what the groups were going to be, I didn't know what my prediction for the final would be, because I had to see what the groups were going to be, because the team coming out of the lower bracket semifinals has won the vast majority of the time in the lower bracket finals throughout this entire split, if you look at the results. Every time, all three regionals in EU, the team coming into the lower bracket final from the lower bracket wins. 3 out of 3. NA, 2 out of 3. I think it's even 2 out of 3 in OCE. And Sandrock did it in Middle East. It's like so consistent. So I decided, like, whoever's my lower bracket team, I've got them winning that, and it just happened to be Dignitas over NRG. But if it was the other way around, if NRG were lower bracket versus Dig in my bracket, I would have put NRG over Dig. I was just like, I'm
So it
going
just
with the lower
happened to
bracket
be
team.
Europe versus Europe.
Well, if you look at my power rankings for the day before, I put NRG second.
Okay.
But then in the lower bracket, I'm just going off the fact that lower bracket seems to always be won by the team in the lower bracket, not the team who just lost upper final. So
I would love
But
to
I-
see Dignitas
yeah.
in the final. I love that pick. I don't
I
have
love Dig
it,
or
but
Queso. I'd
yeah.
want either of them.
I'm
honestly.
a big fan of Dignitas. I am also boring. I would love to see the run back too. I want to see.
I want to see
NRG.
SRG.
Oh,
in the
actually,
final.
I would like that too.
BDS.
I want to
Yeah.
see NRG versus SOG or G2 versus SOG in the final.
G2
I'd love to see
SRG
one-
would be an epic
That's
final.
what I would
That'd be
want to
great.
see.
That would be great.
I predicted also NRG to beat BDS in the upper semis.
I did too.
Extra is
Yeah.
watching my stream, and Extra was like, "Yeah, that's fair." of course. In
I had
classic extra
BDS
fashion.
making the run after losing to NRG, and then they come back and win. So in the
As
final.
long as NRG, there's my one stipulation, as long as they use the have fun meta from the very start. If they do that, then they're going to
Oh,
win.
Yeah,
that's
no why
it.
They're
people
not.
sad. No why
If
people
they
sad.
Yeah, if they start off not having fun, then they end up behind. They're in trouble.
I hate it when players have fun.
That's disgusting, man.
It is disgusting. Despicable.
Dang.
Oh, imagine the SRG final though. I think the coolest
I would
final
love
for
to
me would
see
be
that.
coolest final would be SRG Furia or something.
Oh my god,
coolest-
SRG Furia, that'd be nuts.
That'd be so
That's the
much fun.
coolest final I can actually imagine happening. Like, although it's a very, very, very small chance. I think it could happen.
All right, I don't want to keep you here too long, Jorby. So if you got to jet out of here, it's all good, bro.
Yeah, man, I gotta dip out of here for now, but appreciate you having me on, man. This is fun.
Yeah, no problem.
So-
It's always a good time.
Yeah,
You
sounds
do.
good. I'll
Thanks
see
for
y'all
coming
later.
by.
Yeah, no
Hey,
problem.
Jorby.
Bye, Jorby. Everybody say bye, Jorby.
Hi, Jorby.
Bye, Jorby.
Uh,
I think his camera just froze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the screen. Oh,
Just
there
kind
we
of
go.
sat there. Is there anything else from this doc that you want to talk about, Johnny, or should we just go straight to chat, like chat questions or anything?
Chat questions are probably gonna line up with what's in the doc, I reckon. Maybe just do chat questions.
Yeah. Okay. So, chat, we're gonna kind of wrap this up a bit. I don't know, depending on how long this takes. Could be 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Who knows? But if you guys have any questions or anything you just want to throw out there that we could discuss, then feel free.
A lot of actually, like, we did a bunch of topics for this, and they all came up in the very, like, opening start of the very first thing we talked about anyway.
we had like a bunch of stuff listed, and somehow we actually just hit every topic without having to introduce every topic. So that was like, it's kind of perfect.
If you want a Rocket League analysis focused podcast, Rizzo, you got it with the people here. Everyone's gonna just yap.
No, I think we nailed it. Talk about the bubble scene. What is there about the bubble scene, though?
What's with players using the bubble boost? Am I not
It's
understanding?
it's a thing. It's a thing.
That's the same
Yeah.
thing.
You
gotta get on the bubble
Wait,
blade.
Asper, do you know about that? I don't know about that.
I mean,
What
I
is
think
that?
Blaze kind of set that trend, but like it's a thing though. It makes your car feel like nice, not
Oh.
placebo.
Because
Doesn't
I was casting Fear's thing yesterday, and a whole bunch of players using bubble boost. And I was like, why is everyone using bubble boost all of a sudden?
It's nice. Doesn't one of the Sam players use it? Yeah, Fear's saying it. Is it Yan?
Oh, does Jan use it? You know, Jacob used to use that years ago.
Yeah, he
That
did.
was his thing. Foam hat and the bubble boost.
The foam
Oh,
hat,
yeah.
man. Dang, we lost the foam hat and the pirate corrupted G.
And the
Yeah.
fire hat.
Damn, bro. No one wears toppers no more. I mean, that's good though. I don't. That's it.
That's good.
but like, it added some personality at least. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang.
We could always get to going about the format.
Yeah, we did. There was like a brief talk on the format because that was a big discussion on like the First Touch podcast.
Yeah.
I think it was like that was. I can't remember. Did we talk about that before going live or after going live? I forget. For today, I mean, in this
Yeah.
chat, did we?
Well, I
Did we
can't
talk about
remember.
it? Because
We
it was
touched
like
on
we.
it.
I know we talked about it before we were going live, but I can't remember if we also.
We barely
talked about
touched on it
after.
live. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somebody, yeah, I think we like briefly mentioned it.
Yeah, I think it's funny that like people were complaining about the complexity of Swiss and like how difficult it is to follow, and now we go to this next format and people dislike this, and now everybody's just begging for Swiss again. It really does feel like you're just not going to win. And I'll say too, I really do feel like the whole COVID thing. I think that's more of the problem than any of this, whether it's viewer fatigue or format or anything like that. I think it's just when we get back to having LAN events once every 3 to 4 months, I think it's going to solve a lot of these issues.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean that the winter format was like I think people really didn't like tiebreakers / it was also kind of confusing, and then B, I think the pot got spoiled on the very first regional when
Yes.
like Shock had his Harry Potter novel about it, and that can create a narrative, whether it's right or wrong. And I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying obviously he was upset about it, and yeah.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
So I think people just disliked the format just right off the rip, whether they even had a real opinion or not, because there was just bad discourse around it right off the bat.
And of course, it had to be like round 3 group matches that ended up turning around and literally repeating the exact same match. Like if it was a round 1 group match that they had to come back and repeat, it probably wouldn't have been so bad. But it was like these teams just played, one team just beat one, and now they're playing again. And so people were like, "Why is this happening?" I mean, people got upset about the Rogue and NRG issue too. I think it happened in the second regional where they were tied and they had beaten NRG in the group, and people were furious that Rogue had to play NRG in the tiebreakers. But I don't know. I think that I understand it's confusing or whatever, but I feel like the tiebreakers served their purpose. I feel like they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, that the idea behind that, as I understand it, is that you don't want your group to be decided by stats. You let the players kind of figure that out. So I do agree, though, it is weird to have round 3 and then just have the run back on the rematch.
I saw an interesting comment. I can't remember where, but talking about how Twist doesn't have to be seeded by game differential as well. It can be seeded by a coefficient that's automatically calculated based on strength of schedule.
Yeah.
And I think probably game win-loss comes into it as well. I don't remember, but
I saw that too.
That did interesting to me.
I didn't understand it, but I think it is better.
Is that on Reddit? Where is that?
I can't remember. I don't rember where I read it. It was either Reddit or Twitter. I think I was flying on Sunday, so I think I just scrolled past it at an airport, and I don't recall where it was. I'm looking at chat, see if they know. There seems to be a lot of people who think that anything that finishes with one series grand final, best one series, no bracket reset, no nonsense, just this is the series to win it all in the grand final. As long as it any format ending in that, people seem to unanimously.
I like that honestly better. I think it. I mean, you could do a best of 11 in the grand finals, for Rocket League.
I don't know about best 11. I'll be honest. I've tried
I don't know, best of 9.
Even best of 9
best of
is long. It's long.
But it's Rocket League though. Each game is short. I don't know.
It takes a bit though. It's imagine it's 4-0. How on earth are you gonna tell? I'm just trying to imagine myself commentating a 4-0. I'm trying to tell people it's not over, but
that is true. I don't think like that.
It's tough. I don't know how convincing I'd be able to tell people this.
Hey, Gary.
4-0.
Hello.
What do you think about best of 11s?
Grand
Best of 11 grand final?
I mean, I just watched Call of Duty yesterday, which is a best of 9. But it feels
See, if they
so
could
long.
do it, Rocket League could do it, right?
Would you prefer a best of 3 set, best of 7s, or a 1 game advantage best of 9 as a grand final?
I liked the sets at first when it was RLCSX, but then once we did them more than once, it just felt I don't like it now for some reason. Rocket League's weird. It feels too it feels too confusing for people, and then it's kind of anticlimactic because most of the time it didn't go all the way. But I think if you wanted to do best of 9 or 11, I think the only way to be interesting would be in a double elim where you give one of the teams a game advantage, because game advantage in best of 7 feels too I don't want to say, I guess, OP, but maybe if in a 9 or 11 it would be a little more fair. But I don't know. I like double elim. I like bracket reset personally. I mean, I think it's that or just the top 8 single elim. I'm good on the sets now. I don't really like them anymore.
Well,
you don't want to play 21 games, Garrett?
Bracket reset.
Yeah, bracket. I like bracket reset. I forgot that existed. What the heck?
Regional. That's the format we're in now. Is bracket reset. But
there we go. We're moving forward. Let's go.
Regional 2, we were dude, let's just get this over with. And then we ended up winning. We ended up winning the second one. And we're okay, well, now we can win. But it's geez, I'm drenched in sweat after a best of 7 set. It's ridiculous.
I mean, next split would just be a bracket reset too, right?
Yeah.
It was nice on land though, because it made us look better. We the second series was better. we took it a little close. So now I have
Yeah.
that as my copium. But if it was just one, we got 4-1, it was over. But yeah.
I guess the other question too is how much like, because I know people talked about this on my stream, how much people value like competitive integrity over like the entertainment value of the format too. Because like, a lot of people say that okay, Swiss might have been felt really fair, but I think I've seen enough people now make the argument that Swiss wasn't the most like competitive integrity with the Swiss into single elimination format because there wasn't enough like benefit from being the number one seed because you could just go out in top 8. So I don't know how people feel about that or how important that is to you.
We have never liked Swiss. I don't like Swiss. I like I think Sunless had a lot of good points about how League play is exciting. Um, and they're kind of unrelated, but it just reminded me of that. But with Swiss, I just don't like where you don't know at all who you're playing, and it did feel kind of random. Like I don't think I think you can be the better. I don't think one game, like you going one game further, means that like you should have such less of an advantage. Is what I'm saying. Like best of 5, this game is so like one goal. It's like you get scored on one extra goal and all of a sudden you're the bottom seed out of the winners. It felt random to me. I like just the winner loss. I think that's what matters is the winner loss and not all the time the game differential. In groups, I think game differential is fine, but it felt really random to me. It was better than this format. I think this format's kind of weird. Like you say, we always start off bad, but because it feels like you have so many chances. It's like not. It almost feels not super do or die at all in this format because it's like
With like 3 teams going through from a group, it's always going to be like that. 'Cause it's like, well,
Yeah.
only one's going out. Everybody plays 3 times, and only one of them's gone.
yeah.
It's not,
There's
it's
so
like
many
very forgiving.
chances. There's so many chances in this. It feels kind of which with 4 really good teams in each group. I guess that's how Europe feels every week, but it'll probably be a little bit harder. But I don't know. I think double limb will be satisfying, even though it's scarier, just because it's very obvious what's happening. And I don't know, we've always liked double M the best, just a big double M bracket.
That's interesting.
I was about to
But I
say
think
because with double limb, like it would definitely be a lot more do or die compared to the first 2 formats or the first 2 splits. So you're just saying you
Yeah.
prefer that?
it's just to us, there's no randomness. It's like
You
the only
you
randomness
just
is
win.
it's just like
Yeah.
you know your path beforehand. Like it just feels the most I don't know how to explain it.
No,
It
I get what
feels
you're
like
saying.
the most straightforward, I guess. With all
Yeah.
these like depending on which seed you get or the game differential or like there's tiebreakers. It's like there's so many moving parts, and I think that is like that was Sunless's best point about how league play is very obvious what's happening. You know what match is going to be that weekend, whatever. I like that. Like I like how you look at a double in bracket, like oh wow, Space Station's going to face V1 if they win this best of 5. Like that's hype. And instead, as a viewer, like you have no idea what's going on with the groups except for who is in each group.
Yeah, I've had
And
the Swiss thing explained to me and like who plays who based on
I
what
still don't
seed and
understand
how
it.
they came in
Yeah.
and it like swerves like a U or something. It's like I still don't understand. I've had it explained to me 10 times and I
Really?
don't get it.
Yeah,
funny.
I sometimes I think I understand, and then something happens where I'm like, okay, I
Exactly.
actually don't understand what's happening at all.
Yeah.
What about if it was like double elimination for the entire way, all the way until the top? So in the upper bracket, you'd play all the way until the bit where you right now, if you win an upper bracket semi, you're in the upper bracket final, right? What if instead of that, you don't go to an upper bracket final, you go to semifinals, and then you're waiting for the 2 best teams to come out the lower bracket, and the 2 best lower bracket teams, the teams who would have been in the lower bracket semifinal. So when it gets to basically what I'm saying is when it gets to top 4 in a double elimination, you do
Yeah.
all that, and then instead of doing the rest of the double elim, you just take those 4 teams and you put them into a single elim semifinal final, so you don't get the bracket reset. And the reason I'm suggesting that is because like the bracket reset does have a couple of downsides. One being that entertainment only ever peaks if you get the reset. It's just simply less entertaining if the bracket reset doesn't happen. So that will like diminish some events. And secondly, broadcast schedule. Like right now, it doesn't seem to matter because if event overruns, it's not that big of a deal. But I know as Rocket League grows, it will become a bigger deal to like know this is when these matches will happen. It's just professional to have everything scheduled down to a T. And like if you have bracket resets, like well, are we done? I don't know, maybe. Maybe we're
Yeah.
done in an hour. Like that's always going to be a disadvantage for that.
I think the no, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think the double limb into a single limb that we has happened a few times. Like I think season 8 Worlds was like that. I'm pretty sure, right? It was double limb into a big single limb bracket. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I'll have to refresh my memory. I'll check.
On
Yeah,
season 8?
yeah, I think that was double limb into single limb.
Yes.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it was.
I
Yeah,
think that's a good format because the single limb is a lot more entertaining when it comes to the playoffs.
I agree. I like single limb.
I don't
in
think
playoffs.
that's yeah.
Mhm.
Bracket
And that
reset can be
specific-
kind of weird.
Yeah,
And
it
that
wasn't
specific example
exactly.
too,
Yeah.
you've already narrowed it down to top 4, so
Yeah.
it's not as sketchy, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, the season 8 worlds, it started off with groups. Technically, they were like double elimination groups, I guess. There's 2 double elim groups, which is 2 groups of 4. Where, wait, is it even 4? I'm so confused here. I think even the group stage, you guys came in with a seed advantage. So there's like 6 team groups, I think.
There's 6. Yeah.
It was
6.
kind of confusing, and then you got to buy into the
Yeah.
playoffs. If
It's
you...
confusing when it's filled out, but when you start it, yeah, it's 6 teams.
Yeah,
in
there
each
were
group.
6 team groups. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We have
it's
more
kind.
teams
I suppose
now,
it's kind of
so-
like that. What I'm suggesting, it would just be like a normal double elim, none of the splitting it
Yeah.
apart, and then but eventually the idea is end up at a single elim final.
I think when you make it a giant double elim bracket, you're gonna have the upper bracket teams be like, "Where's my advantage?" But when you kind of disguise it as groups, just with a bracket, then no one really
Yeah.
complains as much. I mean,
That's true.
I would always get a little annoyed at DreamHack when we would win out the first 2 days, and then third day we'd lose to the person who made it to the lowers. But I mean, it's still fair. It's not like unfair. It would just be like, dang. Like I think Muffin lost twice, and we lost once.
Yeah,
And it was
then
just
you're
kind of
right.
like, well, that
Yeah.
sucks, you know.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, I know
but-
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that
Yeah.
that can
I
happen.
mean, Swiss is
double
like
elim.
that, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's just me complaining about losing.
But with you as a player, you would
Just
would
win.
you not
Jorge.
mind if you win an upper bracket semi right now in the double elim format for the spring, you're in the upper bracket final. But if
Yeah.
instead of that you go to a semi final, your journey's the same. You still have to win one series, then you're in the grand final. So it would be no different for that team. Actually, if you stay upper bracket, the only difference would be lower bracket. The team coming out of lower bracket would have a slightly easier run because you don't have to bracket reset. So it would be
Yeah.
very, very similar. And if you're coming upper bracket, you're just waiting. It's the same way as before.
Yeah.
Possible.
No, I know what you mean. I just really think if 2 teams went to the upper bracket in this format, it would have been fine. Like, I don't think anyone would complain. I don't like making groups that valuable. Like, you're like making almost the most important matches the first day where like the least people watch. That's how I feel. Like, I think the most,
Yeah.
it's like the teams who made top 6. Yeah, I mean, Queso won a lower bracket, and then the minor regions had a few, but it's just such an advantage. You're already top 6, and then it just felt anticlimactic to me
Take
personally.
top 2 from groups into what, a single elimination bracket?
No, I mean, even if it was top 2 into a double elim, I just think that
Oh,
made more
okay.
sense where you made
Yeah.
third seed like a last chance.
Yeah.
I don't think
Instead of
second seed is
yeah.
not rewarded. I mean, playing a third seed first is like, I guess, a tiny bit of an advantage, but like, I don't know. I don't like the one team going to winners. It just feels weird to me.
Somebody mentioned as well in chat, they were saying, like, what do you think about instead of 4 teams in a group, what if you did 8? But I'm trying to like picture how that would work. Like, you would need a whole different format, no? Or else like you can't play all the games in the group.
Last year there was a major with 8 teams per group, but I don't remember
Yeah.
why it was like that at all. I think it was the spring major. Right?
I don't
think-
even
look.
remember.
Yeah, my memory does not go that far. So
No,
Yes.
I'm such a pigeon when it comes to
Essentially,
this.
it's like
Spring
No,
major
small
they
was
double
had groups of 5.
it's groups of 5. Okay,
yeah.
groups of 5.
Oh, but they had 20 teams, so it's totally different.
They had more teams.
yeah.
Well, if you look at on this season's Worlds format, it has that. It's got on Wikipedia at least. It's
Yeah.
got groups A, Group A, Group B. They're both 8-team groups for Worlds.
the world's
It's a-
format's dope.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Worlds
really?
format is it's a double elimination group style. It's not like everybody does round robin with 8 teams. It's just like lose twice, you're out.
Yeah, this is good. This is like season 8
For-
with more teams.
And then it goes into single elim. So the only difference is that you don't get much of an advantage in this Worlds format for like winning twice in a row in a group because you just go to the quarterfinal, which is the exact same as a team that comes through lower bracket to qualify. But it's still, yeah, it's still very fair. I think like the group winners, of which there will be 4. There will be 4 teams leaving groups undefeated. None of them play each other till semis. So
Wait, are there only
it's very
16
fair.
teams at Worlds? Or this is after the wild card spots?
Yeah.
yeah,
after-
24 including wildcard, and then
But they
16
whittle
at
it down
V9.
to 16. Yeah.
Oh, group stage is 16.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
so
that's
interesting to
something,
me.
So
Like
yeah,
the-
it is 2 groups of 8 for Worlds.
Yep.
The wild card situation is gonna be so interesting because it's like you have
Yeah.
these people playing for like 3 days before you play a single match in a double in bracket. I wonder how that's gonna work out in like a best of 5. I'm curious. I'm curious if like a lot of the wild card teams will just go insane, but usually it doesn't end up being like that. But that's how
Well,
you
think-
feel when when we would lose to a 4th seed at Worlds in our first match. We'd be like, dude, they got a warm up. Like that's the best. Like what? This is so dumb. Let's just not even be first seed. And then we'd be first seed every time and lose the first match. That was so annoying. But
Some of the wildcard teams will be really good, actually. Like right now, if the standings right now were used to determine worlds, yeah, Space Station would be in the wildcard, right? I think. Yeah, they would. Yeah, SSG V1 would both be wildcard teams. You know, like there's not
Yeah.
going to be like wildcard. People think wildcard like crazy teams you never heard of, but it's not.
Yeah,
Right
that's
now,
crazy.
if it's right now, if wildcard is instead of the major, Space Station's in there, and like I'm pretty sure, are Queso in there? No way, are Queso in there? No, I
no,
think
they're fourth
now.
overall. Yeah, there's a
Okay,
good chance
so-
NA has less spots by the time we get there anyway. So
Yeah.
John said Worlds groups is best of 7. That. I mean,
Oh
I'm
wow.
assuming he wouldn't be wrong.
I
That's
mean,
pretty sick actually.
I
Oh, it says
yeah,
on
I
here.
like that. That's definitely good
oh,
for
yeah.
Worlds.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
At that stage
I
of
agree.
things.
Yeah,
How
it's
many
all-
days
it's
will it
doubly them.
More than 3, probably.
It's
Oh yeah.
The
on
whole
Wikipedia, it
Worlds event is
says
long. It's
Yeah.
like weeks.
It's like
9
2
days.
weeks. Yeah. It's
Oh,
2 over 2
really?
weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that. That's good. Okay. cool.
July 22nd is the start, and then July 31st is the end.
Dang.
So you're asking when Worlds was before it's July.
Oh, it's July. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that in 3 months?
Uh,
Unless you guys have a different
Four.
calendar over there.
Four. 4
Four
months. 4 months. This is
4 and a
months.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh, so Worlds is like soon. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
close enough.
It's almost half a year, but
Almost.
yeah.
It's pretty quick after
Pretty close.
last split.
That Worlds
Oh,
event, it's gonna be so insane. Like,
Nah, yeah, that'll be crazy. Dang. Well, not see now. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
hey, he's ready. Oh wait, Garrett, we were talking before about like getting hyped for matches, and we were just saying how like there was a little beef, energy, and phase at one point, and like it made it very entertaining to watch. So like if you could
Yeah.
just like
A little bit more of that, please.
Yeah.
Whip
I'll
out
just
the
leave
Twitter-
the parents out of it. I'll
whip
leave
out
the
the
parents
Twitter
out of it.
finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
No, that had me dying though. That had me dying. That was
Just whip
fun.
out the Twitter fingers every now and then. Get a lot of
Oh,
people
man.
watching. You could save this esport single-handedly.
True.
I mean, that's
You
what I'm
could.
trying to do with the NA bubble teams in the groups, but everyone's just rifing on us for it. So,
Wait, can I ask the question? Like, it's a dumb question, but it could be smart, low key. Like
Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So like, it might be dumb, but just hear me out. All right.
Okay.
So wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Like, would you ever, do you ever think that non-standard maps could be like it could help the esport grow? You think? As in, in CS, there's different maps.
Non-standard.
Like,
I don't think it's that
like
dumb.
you
of
know
a
those
question,
like
let me say that.
Rocket Lab
It's not a
maps.
dumb question.
Not a dumb
But you reskin it to make it like look like Manfield Night or something. But all those like Rocket Lab maps, like with the stuff like that, the old Neo Tokyo, I don't know, stuff like that.
It just depends for me. Like, I mean, I'm not the one playing, so I would probably let the players
yeah,
decide
I think
this,
as a
but,
player,
like,
I would hate that.
I think it would kill
Or-
the
or I
esport
could
because all
love
the
it.
players would quit.
I feel like
That's
everyone would
that's
hate
my
playing
thing too, right?
Retropia.
Like, I don't know.
I think everyone would
Um,
hate playing Retropia,
well,
like that like donut one.
Yeah, it,
Oh, yeah.
it happened
No,
though. I mean, season 2, it was a thing. We played.
Oh,
We
what
were
was
down.
the thing? Mid-season mayhem or something?
Well, that was a
No,
thing too.
in RLCS,
it was in
actually
RLCS.
RLCS.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
series where we were
It's so
playing
bad.
Classics' team. I think it was Chrome, maybe. I can't remember.
Dude, it was-
Classics.
Classics.
No, listen, we're down 0-2. At this point, my mic's muted. I mean, it's chalk. We're down 0-2. So they didn't really tell you the picks beforehand, but we load into game 3, and it's what's the one with the ramps on the side? Is that
Wasteland.
Underpass?
Or no,
Neo
Neo
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yeah.
Neo
Like,
Tokyo.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, Neo Tokyo. We win that and then reverse sweep. So shout out Genesis, but it felt weird. Like it just felt like they just need to make better maps. It felt so clunky
Yeah, I
because
think
everyone was
it-
just ramping off of the
Yeah.
thing and like, everyone was flying around.
To be
It
fair,
just didn't look
everybody
good.
would be a lot better now compared to
Yeah,
CS.
so
Yeah.
I feel like it
Yeah,
adds a new
yeah.
layer of like skill. So it's like like
Yeah.
certain teams are better on certain maps, and then when you're watching as a viewer, you'd be like, oh, NRG takes this because they're on this map or something, or I don't know, something like that, you know?
No, it would definitely
Like a
create
viewer
some
perspective.
storylines for
when they
sure.
when they make maps, like they would definitely need to have a lot more flow to it. Like the old Neo
Yeah.
Tokyo, like Garrett said,
These
it was
toys
so
are
just
just maps, you can't have
clunky and
that.
like it felt impossible to play on that thing. So like
Yeah, we need
they
some,
would
like,
need to actually like play test them with like
yeah,
pros or whatever somehow and
For
before
sure,
they
yeah.
introduce them or something.
I don't think they'll ever do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
They
I
won't.
think
No.
it's a risk when like it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
too
Rocket
much.
League's in a bad spot. Like I
No,
don't think
yeah.
they'll do it. But it's interesting
Nah,
to
you
talk
know,
about.
I
It'd
think
be-
it's possible because think about it even in a real world scenario. I mean, I've tried watching basketball. I know you guys like it, but I really think they need to start integrating some new maps in basketball because like the floor is like
Yeah.
too flat. Like, wouldn't it be really cool if somebody like threw the ball at one of the walls?
Well,
It's like,
there's
yeah, whoa.
oh, there's a
I
different.
said,
You could
like,
there's
they need
like
that in basketball
there's
as
like
well.
trampoline basketball. Like everybody's bouncing on trampolines and they just like
Yeah.
dunk it and it's like slam ball or something. They just
Slam
fucking-
ball.
Yeah, slam
Exactly.
ball.
they just like smack each other. They like go to dunk and they'll just like fucking truck them out of the air. Like if that's what you want, Johnny, you can always watch some slam ball. You know.
Nah,
I'm
if
just
I'm
thinking,
not
like,
if I'm
imagine-
not trolling, I don't believe it. No, I don't
To
believe
be
in
fair, they
non-standard
have
maps.
made some big changes to basketball. So didn't they raise the hoop and they added the 3-point line? Like that wasn't always in the game either. So like those are big like you could
They've-
literally
they've had
score
some
extra
updates,
points.
yeah.
They've had some updates.
Oh, what would the
It's-
Rocket League? What would the Rocket League double goal be? Like you get a 2-point goal. What would it be?
Barred. I don't even know.
You gotta,
Pinch?
you
Bar
gotta have like
down,
a,
imagine.
you gotta have
Let's
like
just
a
make it a bump goal. Let's just go.
Yeah,
all in on the
that's
bump.
good.
Oh,
I think that's what we should do.
Irritable
You get a
demo,
goal
2 goals.
if you get a demo, that's a goal. Let's just make it demolition derby.
Oh,
There's
that
gotta
was
be
sick.
like there's gotta be like a floating coin at the top of the like field, like a ceiling, and then if you like collect the coin, you have like 3 seconds to score or something. Then I think that could be like a double goal or something.
Oh, like a map buff or something. You drive over it and then you get
yeah,
some, like,
yeah, kind of. But it's like
Yeah.
way
We're
up
onto
in the
something here.
sky, you know.
I like
Well, at
this.
least for pro play, you know, if it was like bronze games, you couldn't put that on
Yeah.
the ceiling. But
'Cause I was just thinking like imagine watching CS:GO, but they play on the same map every time. You know, I don't know. That's just like how I see it, kind of.
yeah, well, CS:GO has like 7 maps, right? Or is it
Yeah.
9?
I don't watch CS, but
Oh,
CS:GO, I mean, they rotate them out and stuff,
Yeah.
like the map pool, but
yeah.
I don't know.
For
how
me,
many
when
it is.
I think of non-standard maps, I'm thinking more of like slightly wider, higher ceiling.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
or
what I'm
like,
thinking too. Like,
or even like I would love to see. I mean, just even testing like, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the kickoffs now, but I would love to see different types of kickoffs where like the team that got scored on would get the possession right off the bat instead of it just being like a face-off. You know,
yeah.
like how they do in Heat Seeker, where like 3 players start behind the ball and the ball's right in front of you.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
that
yeah,
would be
it
interesting.
like
to me.
hands them possession. Is that
Yeah,
what you
it just hands them
Yeah.
Oh,
possession
actually,
off
yeah.
of the kickoff.
be
So
That would be
I-
interesting to see what teams would do with that. Like
Yeah.
starting off
Yeah.
like
yeah,
I think
because
that'd be
like,
really good.
there's nothing
plays.
wrong with the kickoffs now, but I feel like it's just something that doesn't change the game drastically, and I think is actually a good addition. So
Imagine
one of
just
those
seeing
things
like
that's
7
impossible to
back-to-back
know.
kickoff goals too for like
yeah,
The kickoff strats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe teams would finally have proper kickoff strats.
imagine like on the like especially in Heat Seeker where all 3 of you behind, like one guy takes it in the air and everyone just goes for like the air dribble bump and bumps everyone out of the way or something.
Oh,
like all
God.
in, you know.
Oh
Leave
man.
blocks, man.
See, like one of the reasons I'd love to see that because it's impossible to know what what it would actually do to the game. It's
Yeah.
just so impossible to know.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it would look
Team-
like.
Teams
Yeah.
will start like concede on purpose so they can grab possession real quick and score or
There,
whatever.
you know, there was actually a phase when I was casting. Well, obviously I've casted 1v1s regularly for years now, and there was a phase maybe like 4 or 3 years ago. I think maybe 4 years ago where nobody had really figured out how to stop. Like you'd have a kickoff goal for one player, and then the other players would not know what to do. They'd be like, "Well, I guess I'm just screwed now." And it's like kickoff goal, kickoff goal, kickoff goal. And
Yeah.
then the answer was so many people were like, "We should just give possession to the guy who's losing or who lost the goal." But now that's never being requested for 1v1 because kickoffs have advanced to a place where that doesn't happen anymore. Like you don't get that same problem of just recurring kickoff goals because players have like innovated like so many different kickoffs that are all like viable. I honestly feel like 3v3 is behind on the kickoff like adaptation because simply there just aren't as many kickoffs. When you play threes, there's not as many kickoffs as ones. You're on the kickoff every single time. You're forced to learn. You're forced to innovate. Threes, you like rarely practice kickoffs
To go
when you're
back.
like playing
also,
series of threes.
people lose the kickoff so often too. It's hard to know like what they're gonna do. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It is. I feel like with ones, you know, I think doesn't Scrub do one where he tries to lose it kind of to the corner? Like I think that's the most I've seen someone like actually not try to win the kickoff. Like there's, I think at least in NA, it feels like everyone's just trying to lose it to the corner half the time. And then like the most
In
you do to counter
ones?
that is
Oh,
you
in
just
threes, you
counter.
mean?
Yeah, in threes in
threes,
NA.
yeah.
Like everyone's just trying to lose it to the corner, and then like the
Yeah.
most you do after that is like just counter the back corner. That's what it feels like at least. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Rocket League's weird because you're not wrong. Like we don't ever talk about the kickoff unless we have a bad tournament with kickoffs or like.
I think that's
I
like
don't know.
meta.
It's a bit crazy though, because
It'll
it's
be
the only place in the entire game where you know exactly where the ball is going to be and exactly where every
Yeah.
player is going to be. But I think if as long as kickoff spawns are random and you don't know what you're going to get until the game starts, it's harder to plan. But if Psyonix like told you guys, okay, for your upper bracket final, these are the kickoffs, these are your spawns, just to give you a quick heads up, you'd probably go and plan. You know, you'd be like,
Yeah,
hey,
we'd probably have a default like, oh, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
time, just so we don't have to talk about it in the moment because you have such low amount of time to actually call what you want to do. You have,
Yeah.
3 seconds
3
before
seconds,
it starts.
Yeah.
So that's also a problem. This game's so you don't, you play other games, you know what map you're about to play. The map's different. Rocket League is like just adaptation throughout the
It
game.
could
Feels
be
like.
it could be standardized as well, because right now there's only 5 kickoff spawn variations in any game of Rocket League. There's 5, and they themselves, I believe, are randomly generated at the start of the game.
Yeah.
And you've got to wait until you've seen 4 goals, and then you finally know what the 5th kickoff is. So if it was like predetermined, and you knew exactly what the kickoff spawns were going to be going in, and you could even choose like which one of your players spawns where.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna say
also,
what
that can't be that hard to like set up.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't make games, but like that would be, I think, really cool because teams would come in with like sick plans. It's like, oh, third kickoff, this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
And,
I think
you
it
know,
would take
fourth
one.
kickoff.
It would take one team to like absolutely destroy doing it before anyone
Yeah,
else did it.
yeah,
Like even
that's
if that became a
Yeah.
thing and then no one cared, I don't think anyone would do it until that one team like figured out how to abuse it, and then everyone would do it. That's how I feel like that's how it works, or how it always ends up happening. But I don't mean to change the subject, but when Asher brought this up, this was something me and Squishy were really talking about last night. Is like if one day they make the field a lot bigger, and it becomes 4v4. I'm like very interested
That'd be
to
pretty cool.
see what
Or
would happen.
Maybe even 5v5, like every other esport. But then you have to split the prize pool
Yeah,
5
wait,
different
but
ways.
why,
So do you want
why
that?
stop there? You know,
No.
Garrett,
we
I
could just keep
never
sending
thought.
it up.
There's no way. I never thought NRG would be the team, or like you and Squishy would be the players
Wait.
to like suggest 4v4. There's going to be a perma demoer in 4v4. There's just no way that you're all going to be playing Rocket League.
Are you telling me Musty's gonna play?
It's overdone. Okay, the problem
Spawn him
is
in.
have you seen my POV for the past year in matches? I'm chasing people. The problem is
I've
that when
seen.
NA is sucking and they still scrim and just demo, that is a problem. Okay, this is where the problem comes when we're playing these teams who just suck and they won't practice the things they suck at. Okay, that's the problem. Okay,
But aren't you worried that 4v4 would just become like you'd be the demo main? Like the NRG would be like, Garrett, we need to sit you down, and we're just making you demo from now on only.
If I'm
Ignore
winning
the ball.
things, I will sit in the back corner and be the back left boost guy. I don't really.
They're gonna
It
turn
would
off
just
your
be
ball
interesting.
cam. They're gonna turn off your ball cam and then unbind the key. They're like, yeah, it's on.
I mean, if that's what it takes, put me in there. But it's whatever. But I think it would be interesting. I think the roster changes would be really interesting too.
I don't mind it. I don't hate the idea of 4v4. I know it's a completely different game and probably not comparable, but I know like Call of Duty did it where they changed the number of players on the teams, and I don't think it went over very well. Like I think they've gone back now, so
they went back. Yeah.
I don't know the reasons why, but
From 5 to 4, right?
yeah.
Well,
So now they're back at 5.
I could
No, sorry. They went
4.
They went from 4 to 5. Now they're back to 4.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I could be completely wrong. But I feel like I remember reading that was a lot of the franchise orgs wanting less people to pay, and like
Yeah,
it was
really?
more of like a chore.
Makes sense.
type thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people got screwed over by that. There was like 20. There's like 20 pros who were no longer pro because of that. Because they lowered it back to 4 and didn't expand the amount of teams. So a lot of people got screwed over by that.
Yeah,
And then-
wow.
it might not be a good example, but
my.
I just
It's
know it
definitely
was like
risky.
a failure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
we'd
is
be
risky.
Carly. We're increasing it, so we're bringing in more careers. You
Yeah.
know? We're
Yeah.
inviting more pros.
I could be
We're
wrong
gonna
about
be
the
up there.
franchise thing, but I mean,
maybe Jitsu
I
will
don't even
take
know
me
where I read
back.
What about? I've got an idea that I think everybody will hate, but it's my favorite idea on this kind of like it's topic, and it's copy paste the current RLCS format for threes 2 times and make a 2v2 RLCS and a 1v1 RLCS and run them all alongside each other. Players can play in all 3 because they're all at different times. And then every time there's an international major, you have 3s, 2s, and 1s being present, with 3s being the main event, maybe up until like 24 teams there. And then for 1s and 2s, there's just 8 teams, 8 players. And yeah, you've got a multidisciplinary Rocket League Olympics with all the variety in the world, so nobody gets viewer fatigue.
I mean, that might be more confusing than what's going on already now. It's like I can never keep track of that. I don't know.
But
I
they're
don't like
not
th-
tied,
I mean, I
they're
don't
not tied
dislike it.
together. They're all
It's
they're
not
all
bad,
different.
but it'll be
I
hard.
could
to
see
keep track
players
of
wanting
it.
to focus on like
Yeah,
whatever.
that's gonna
has
be your
to do
number
with
one
it.
complaint. You're gonna see
Yeah.
a 3v3, like you're gonna be like, oh, like I gotta practice for my 1v1 tournament or whatever.
But you
like,
don't
their
have to,
team,
'cause,
their
like-
team wants to scrim the whole time.
But
just-
3s is still going to be exactly the same. There's no prize money deduction. Let's raise the prize money for 3v3. Let's raise the amount of teams that are going to be competing in 3s. So it's increased. But then you also just have 1s and 2s as well. And you don't have to play them. Like, it'll be totally different players probably. Because why would
Yeah.
3s main be
Oh,
like,
I mean,
I'm
I-
going to learn 1s?
I gotcha.
Like, it's totally different players.
Oh,
like,
I see what
nobody's
you're
forced
saying.
to
So
freeze
you're basically
I-
creating new scenes, like a new scene
Yeah,
within
brand new
Rocket League.
scenes.
I think it'd be I think it's interesting as one-off tournaments, but I feel like you could view it as a way as like you're kind of creating competition between the different scenes. Like I feel like there'd be people who are genuinely interested in just watching one, and like that taking away from what's already being like
Yeah.
focused on.
No, I think it can work. What
Mm.
you do though is that you make like the World Championship like a celebration of Rocket League across the board, and you can still have your 3v3 be the main event. Like it can be like you basically could have all these undercard events, right? Like where you have the 1v1 World Championship and the 2v2 World Championship, but then obviously we would still finish off with like a 3v3. So you still have everything there, and obviously the Worlds would be a lot bigger of an event at that point. It just
I
wouldn't.
see it.
only
I
be
don't
3.
see it ever being like on the the match of the entire thing would be a 3v3 world final or 3v3 international major final. That would be like the main event. But like instead of going from lower bracket final of 3s to upper bracket or to grand final of 3s, you would go lower bracket final of 3s, 2v2 grand final, 1v1 grand final, 3v3 grand final. You just have like a gap, and that's the filler content. If players want to compete in multiple, that's on them.
So you're
you know?
saying there's
You've got-
there's a gap between like each game, like within the broadcast?
No, like the entire series. The entire series. So like the lower bracket final for 3s, like in this I think event past it was NRG G2, right? That was lower bracket final. That would happen.
Yeah.
And then before the upper bracket or before the grand final happens, which was NRG V1, you would just have your 1v1 grand final that's already like we've already reached the grand final in that. You'd go do that. They did that in championships, I think. Like between EU and NA.
They
They
did
had
the
a
fourth
totally different
freestyle.
The freestyle, yeah, and we were
Yeah.
all like
They were
so mad
molding,
about it.
yeah.
Everyone was
That's
molding.
not gonna
Well,
fly.
It's not freestyle's not exactly like it's not competitive in the same way. It's like literally a halftime show. So this would be like an
Yeah.
integration of competition into a competition.
Well, I just think making them wait is sort of like the
It was more about the waiting. It wasn't about the freestyle. It was
Yeah.
like we're in the middle of a tournament and now we have to wait longer. But it could
Yeah.
be different in
I
person.
didn't-
It could
I
be
didn't-
different in person.
I
Right.
didn't think of it like that. I thought maybe instead you have those events happening like like back to back to back instead of like trying to interweave them. So because I don't think players are gonna like waiting for a 2v2 or 1v1 final in between their 3v3 when I think most people are gonna be there for 3v3.
I think they're going to need to realize that is the reality that is inevitable further down the line. Because if production value is to increase and if the product is to be made better, you need that time to go in. Like right now, there's a small gap, and they record all these pre-match interviews and crush out the content ASAP. And I think the Fall Major was a really good example of how to do that well. But think of what you could do if you had like a couple of hours of making all of the B-roll and all the content,
Sure,
all of
yeah.
the behind-the-scenes stuff, and that's how it works in real sports. You never go from like winning a semi-final in any real sport and then being like, okay, grand final time. Like you win the semi-final of 100 meters at the Olympics. You don't like go, okay, final time. You do that like later in the same
Yeah,
day. Or,
I
like,
agree, but
next day.
I don't think the comparison's like 1-to-1 for like real sports to like esports. I think because you're taking away like the physical element. So I mean, you can go and you can game. I mean, all these pro players game for like 20 hours a day, So I don't really I don't see the issue with going back to back like we already have it. I still think the idea
I'm
is
not
good.
saying like
I just
don't
don't like
think it's
it.
an issue. I just think the product could be better if you did. Like there's potential.
I'm
to
with you. I
improve the
agree. I'm
product.
just saying I don't think. I mean, Garrett probably does. I don't think players would like wanting to wait and between their semifinals and finals matches for other things to finish. Even though you might gain all this great content, I just don't think people are gonna like it.
I think
think
you're
it
also
would
just
be-
spreading yourselves too thin, like
As a
Rocket League
player.
in general.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine
So
for people
much.
who are like diehard fans of the esport and like know how those players got to the grand final. But the problem would be like explaining to casual viewers like how these twos players got to this final, and I think a lot of people would be confused. Like, wait, I just watched a lower final. So is this the grand final, or is this the people
Yeah.
who made the grand final, or is the next series like it would be? It'd be like they'd have to be like really good at explaining it, and so far they're not even good at explaining the 3v3 format. So they'd have to improve on a lot of stuff.
People don't
before
even know
they
what a
could-
bracket reset is in Rocket League. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I mean, they need a website. Before
I would
they
just say
do
like
any of that, but
on my viewing parties,
You
they're
know,
like,
like an app or something.
I think NRG got bracket reset one time, and they're like, wait, they're playing again? And I was like, yeah, they gave NRG a disadvantage because NRG won the last one, so they're not allowed to win again. So they had to give them
They
like,
weren't
the other
supposed
ch-
to win.
Yeah, NRG was too good, so they had to give them another
Oh,
try.
no.
And people are like, that's so stupid. You can't tell if they're being serious or not. It's, oh god, AJ viewers.
it's not a terrible idea though. Like Johnny, but if
Yeah, I
like, it's
like
like in a perfect world, it would work well. Like if they could figure out a way to do it easily. Like I'm not against it really, as long as
Yeah,
it
I'll be
wasn't
honest.
taken
I
away
don't know
from-
what the perfect structure would be. Whether I would just give
It's
some
hard.
examples.
It's- yeah.
I'm trying to like paint a picture so everybody can understand what I'm thinking. But I don't know what the perfect format for it would be. Combining 3 events into one, to one week or fortnight event. I don't
You
know,
know, I think
but I'm sure it's possible.
I think they should just do ones. I don't even think they should do ones and twos. Like if you wanted to eventually have all three, like I think you just start with ones because it felt like everyone who went to the twos events just hated the twos events too as well. So
Really?
yeah, no one like
Yeah, I
Squishy
could see
won,
that.
and he was like, "Dude, this like get me home. This sucks." Like
What?
it's
Again,
just it's just
W-
weird. It's
No.
kind of weird to change. But I think ones would be. I mean I'm
But
terrible at ones, so I know
to
I
be
One's
wouldn't
is a
fair,
be
whole
beating,
different
but
scene too. I feel
Yeah.
like.
yeah. Twos
Johnny's
is
point
just
though.
sorry, good.
I was just gonna say to Johnny's point though, I think what he's saying is like a whole new scene would rise up of players who aren't playing the other modes. They would be 2v2 mains basically.
If
So like Squishy obviously didn't like twos, and that's understandable. I just think that there would be players that would come up and be like, I want to be that 2v2 guy, right? So they would go and they would be a 2v2 player, especially if
Right.
there was incentive to be a 2v2 player for a world championship.
Do you think, Garrett, on that
But-
event, were the twos matches at those events? Did they remind you of ranked? Because like when I watched them, I thought this
No.
looks a lot like player teams don't look like they're playing that differently.
Well,
What do you think?
I mean, I didn't do. I mean, I've gotten like 6 and 8. Like I didn't do crazy at them, but it felt like it's kind of weird. It felt like everyone else was playing threes, and then the people who did well were like the ones who like were actually playing like twos. It was just a weird event. I don't even know how to answer that question because it was just really odd. Because you're scrimming threes, no one's actually practicing twos at all, and then you just go to the tournament and just see who wins. I really don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. Because like when me and JNuts played it, we were playing it like threes, and we were just like losing possession over and over, and then but we were still taking it close. But it just felt odd, to be honest. So
The scene was different back then too. I bet you if they
Yeah.
did a Universal Open again, you'd see a lot of guys that you don't see in the pro scene 3v3 that qualify 2v2.
I was gonna say though, Curly, I think that the people who are pro at threes would end up just being the best players at the twos events too, though, because I mean, if you're one of the
I think
best
for
twos
now, yeah.
players in the world, you would just end up being on 3v3 team. Like I don't,
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think Rocket League is that different between game modes. So like,
that's
I mean,
fair.
Yeah.
even the best ones players just become good threes players, just because if you're good at Rocket League, you're most likely good at most things. I mean, I think ones is the most far off of that. Like there's, like I'm not a, like super high level at ones, but like, I mean,
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
if there's a lot of money in there, like I think you'd see more threes players just playing ones as well. So you'd
You
be like
basically-
spreading the talent over all
Yeah.
3 game modes. I think.
Y-
So
But
you would-
people can decide though; they don't have to, because some people might be like, "This is way too much for me. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna focus on threes. That's like the main event. I want to win the main event. I've never won a threes world championship. I'm not gonna distract myself with multi-disciplines." And if a player can be a like world champion simultaneously in 2 or even 3 game modes, can you think about how crazy that would be? Like that would be so
Yeah.
sick
That
to
is true.
see.
That's like like how you become the go, I guess.
Yeah,
no,
that would be
I agree.
special.
I just,
Oh,
I
the
just, I
like
think
when you
that's
know
multi
somebody-
game mode goat.
It's like-
Imagine winning 3
I-
trophies,
Yeah,
all
like-
game modes.
I always just remember like whenever I watch like the Olympics and I see like somebody up there with like 3 gold medals in like 100 meter, 200 meter, then 400 meter, whatever, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like that's something that could actually happen in Rocket League in the future. Somebody
Yeah.
just winning everything. I don't think it would be a
No.
bad thing, but you'll still have players, and I agree. I think initially the best players would just be threes players and twos.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm
that would be
curious if that
bad.
would change. No,
I think it would
I don't
change
know.
because
It's hard.
some people
It's
would be
weird.
like, we're gonna go all in on twos because we can't find a good third. Let's just go all in on twos, focus all our time on that and dominate.
I
They'll
think
be
it would
like
be cool
best.
as like a fusion LAN. I just don't think it should be I think like the esport should have like just one thing. That's how I feel. But I think a LAN like that would be very interesting. But I think doing the whole circuit with it, I think is a little too much.
I
But
think
that's
you're
just my
probably right
opinion.
that if you're just starting it off, I mean, maybe I'm thinking like way long term, like do everything. But like if
Yeah.
you're gonna throw one in there, 1v1 would make the most sense 'cause it's the most different.
I
Initially,
would love a 1v1
It's the
world
easiest.
championship. Like I'm totally down scrapping twos and just saying one's players. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Twos could be good. Trust me, twos could be good.
No,
Just
no,
like
I agree, but I
Aggressive,
think
some
one v
sick
ones
twos.
people like 1v1s. I think just as much as threes. So
It's a huge ones audience on YouTube, for example, and I think it would be pretty interesting seeing
There's-
who would be willing to play both, who would be willing to do well in both.
There's people also mentioning like CS:GO and Valorant don't do that, so why would you do it like League and Dota stuff like that? But I don't think that should be like a case.
yeah, who
for-
cares?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well,
Like,
That has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
League
Who
of
cares?
Legends is a very bad example of this because
that's true.
no
There's
one
the lanes in the jungle, and
like you
kinda need
can't
the
1v1 in League because like so much of League is not 1v1 skill. It is how well you're playing with your
they've
teammates.
done
But
1v1s at like
Rocket League,
all-star events.
I was about to say they do have an all-star
yeah,
event, but that's
they
just
have.
for fun. Yeah, it's
They
just
have,
for fun.
and it's kind of I think the All-Star events like proves that League of Legends is just not good 1v1 because there's so much like playing. Even mid lane isn't a 1v1. Like you're playing with your jungler, top lane maybe
Yeah.
a bit more, but it's not really a good. It's not a 1v1 game. But Rocket League is so a 1v1 game. Like
Yeah.
there's constant 1v1 plays even in threes. Like
Yeah,
everybody's trying
sure.
to outplay the guy in front of them. So it works in Rocket League, and I think it would work in like CS:GO if they had a 1v1 event and it was just like
Yeah, I
people
think so
trying to
too.
headshot
Like
each
a
other.
de- a
I think people
deathmatch,
would.
just a
I
I
think
think
people would watch
Blast.
that.
I think Blast Pro Series did do that, where they did kind of like 1v1 type. They're the ones who would always do the fun stuff, kind of the Blast tournaments.
I
think-
just know
I
if
think I
they
remember that.
drop like $1 million on it and they're like we're doing this huge tournament, like that would be hype because you gotta also remember like these CS:GO events, they're so big. Like the events that you're comparing it like in chat are comparing it to, they're comparing them to like I don't know the exact numbers, but absolutely massive team events. And then you're like, I saw this 1v1 event in some small tournament, it didn't compare. I'm like, well, how can you compare that? You
Yeah.
got to imagine it being given the same production value and the same backing as the current content, which is why I'm suggesting for RLCS, like put 1v1, just copy paste RLCS, do it again, see what happens.
Okay, so
That would be like the viewer fatigue solution, I think.
Wid asked this as well, and I'm curious, Hootie, your thoughts. I'll just read the whole thing. As a Rocket League esports superfan and community figure, would you be as invested in a format that involved multiple game modes? So basically, just the same thing.
Yeah,
You're
I
suggesting
definitely
it.
would. But I also recognize that I'm not I'm a super minority, right? Like a lot of people are not going to be hungry for the same type of format across 3 different game modes, at least not yet. But I'm totally on board. I think it would be great. I would love to see 1s, 2s, and 3s at a professional level, especially like what Johnny said was like you keep 3v3 as a premier event. And so, a lot of what we're looking this through is the lens of like players having to play multiple game modes or, having to train multiple game modes or whatever. And that like, I agree that definitely would be the case up front, but with time that would definitely change and new faces would pop up. Like he's saying 2v2, you and a partner play together forever and you end up, running through the 2v2 or, a specific player that just prefers to play by himself in 1v1, whatever. But yeah, I would definitely be invested. I think it would be super awesome. But I do agree that it may not be the right time just yet. Like it might be something a little bit further in the future. And I also agree that it's probably something that would like have to be kind of like eased into the scene. So, like they were saying, add 1v1s, maybe another season or 2 goes by, and then you add in the second.
We need to have a
last game
legit
mode
like
2v2.
1v1 LAN, like not affiliated with RLCS, like some third party. I feel like a lot of people would buy in at that point, even if you're not into ones right now.
Yeah.
Just some like random DreamHack 1v1 or something. I don't know.
People definitely
Yeah,
love
that'd be
1v1 and 2v2 content. Like we love to see it played at a high level.
Already
Well, we don't
3,000
definitely-
people watch Rizzo play Sizz in 1v1. It's
Say 33,000.
33,000 viewers.
Oh
And
my
between
god.
between mine, K-Dub's, and Jesse's streams, 51,000 people watch K-Dub 1v on Jesse.
Oh my
I think-
god.
Between the three
Definitely,
streams,
definitely.
51K.
That's a live event too. Were you? Were any of
That
you
was-
on the
that
front
was-
page?
That was online, no front page. We had esports buttons.
Wow,
on.
not even the
Wow.
rigged viewers. Oh my god. No, the Twitch front page
No
is
rigged
actually.
viewers.
It's fake. It's not
Yeah,
even.
it's just like, boom, you got another 10K. No, we didn't have
It's
front page for that.
Ghost
no.
viewers.
I think another interesting thing is I've seen a lot of people talk about it. It's like all-star stuff or bringing
Yes,
back like
yes,
Oh,
bringing
yes,
back,
please.
yes.
player
Oh, you
awards,
think
like,
so? As is adamant
Come on,
about
man.
that.
Like, do something,
Golden
bro. We gotta
Striker
do
and stuff
something
like
with that.
As wants
come
in on the
on,
All-Star
man.
game.
I think
I
that'd be sick.
want to see Rookie of the Year, most improved
yeah.
player, MVP, all that stuff.
Put Az
on.
in the
Yeah,
dunk
absolutely.
competition.
I think it would hold a lot of
Oh,
weight
yeah.
too now that the seasons are like lengthier, right? Like it's a whole year. I think it'd be
Yeah,
super
so there's
cool.
definitely a lot more time to like
It definitely that makes a lot
Is
more
this
sense.
accolade. Is that the right word? Accolade
Accolades, yeah.
stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. But yeah.
Definitely not exacerbate. So
Oh, I forgot about that word already. But
So,
like,
I mean,
like,
I know
don't know.
accolades is a lot more different than like an actual All-Star event. Though, like accolades, you could just do like
Mhm.
Rookie of the Year or whatever.
Yeah, but like,
I think
like both of them. We need both of them. We can't just have like.
right, okay. Just
yeah,
making
All Star
sure.
would be really cool. And you could even, I don't know, people were saying like, well, players are not going to want to do that when they're focusing. Like, for example, you do it at Worlds, and people were like, well, they're not going to want to do that if they're focusing on the main event.
Yeah.
Which I guess that could be true, but you could, I don't know. I feel like there's ways to skirt around.
Maybe like
it.
during the off season,
Yeah,
right? Like,
All-Star events at Worlds, I don't think is the way to go. And then like, yeah, I guess the off season would be the best time to do it because then you could also just get like random scramble teams. Some
Mix up
scrims?
mix up, yeah,
Mix
mix up
scrims, that's what I was
scrims.
looking for. You get some
Can you-
random
can you
mix up scrims in
imagine-
the off season and
Ri-
have it as like an All-Star event or something.
We just redo SMAD, but on a LAN, and with like the teams are all mixed region as well.
Oh, that'd
it's
be
not
sick.
like it's not like fixed.
No,
region.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
that. Don't get me
Smad-
wrong.
Smad was like the
RLCS is
cards,
cool.
right? The
Uh,
undercard, overcard. Is that Smad?
No,
oh, it's
SMAD.
mad.
Stop
not the-
pretending you
what
don't
is
remember.
draft?
You don't
What
remember.
is Smad? What is Smad?
No, you're
Oh.
joking.
No, what is Smad?
You had Garrett in your team for SMAD, right? Wasn't that the same?
Oh, I was the
Um,
manager?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
No, wait, I don't remember that
Wow.
actually.
Oh, I remember.
I don't
Wait,
remember.
oh wait, oh.
No, we don't
yeah,
remember. No, we
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember
Oh,
that
wait,
tournament,
oh, wait.
to be honest.
Oh, I get it.
No, we
I
don't
get it.
I'm just saying we do it again, but we mix up the regions, you know? Like
Yeah, no,
you
that'd be
don't-
good for like an All-Star event.
Yeah,
Like,
on land,
yeah.
something like that.
I was gonna say you could do an All-Star game at Worlds, but it would have to be like players who, if you did it mid-tournament, you could do players who are already eliminated. Like if
That's kind of like messed up
because
though.
I think
Oh, can you imagine, Garrett? They're like, oh, sorry about the round one loss,
No
so
way.
you're playing the All-Star.
Have fun with the
you
All-Star.
don't think
they're
they
like,
play
you
that?
actually have to play with
I-
K-Dop over
You don't think they
here.
would, I feel like when players are eliminated from LANs, like, dude, I just want to play again. I feel like people will play in it for sure.
Really? Do you think? Do
Yeah,
you think?
you'd be
Ma-
sad.
no,
Enter, do you
people
think
be
you guys
so
would do
emo,
that?
Or
I don't
like,
know.
Do you think
Yeah,
NRG
I
would play?
Personally, I would. I don't know about my.
And like I
don't
feel
know
like
about my teammates,
for the
but-
All Stars, you want
yeah.
like personality during that stuff. If you come out right off a loss, you won't have like that.
Not like right
There's-
after. I mean, like a few.
Or-
This is a
or- yeah.
9-day event, so
Oh.
I'm just saying. Like, I literally
Oh,
think
yeah,
in football,
9 days.
if
There's-
you're on a team who's
yeah.
making like a deep run in the playoffs, you don't play the All Star game. I'm pretty
Like
sure
the
that's
Pro
how it
Bowl,
works.
yeah.
Like the Pro Bowl.
Ah, I
Because you're still in
see.
the
I was
tournament.
thinking more
Yeah.
like basketball though, like because
That's
they
what I was
play.
gonna say. Is like the problem with that is the teams or the players that are probably gonna be voted for All Stars are probably, I mean, some may be eliminated, but they're probably gonna be still alive
Yeah.
in the event.
Yeah,
So
no,
that
I,
kinda
I agree.
defeats the
I'm just saying.
purpose
I
of
think
the
that's the
All-Star
only way.
event.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the only way you could do it mid-event. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Oh,
to do
yeah,
it,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
No, I think that's more like an off-season thing. I don't
But you
think-
could do that
yeah,
instead of
mid-
doing All Star.
mid-event.
It could be like some sort of different content with
Like
that same kind of idea.
B-Star, like I don't even know.
The leftovers.
The leftovers. No, but I think that would like. I feel like Rocket League's a perfect game for that type of stuff too. You know, like
Yeah.
it's almost like a sport. So it's like,
Yeah.
why would you not implement these things that you see in real sports into Rocket League?
I mean, they've done the freestyle comps, which is like if if anybody here has actually watched it, like sometimes they hit a shot where you
Yeah.
Style stuff. Oh yeah.
Oh, some
Yeah.
of the
Wait.
shots are
you,
insane.
you
That's
actually
not
see
fun
the
to
shots
watch.
where it's
all
like
of them, yeah.
You said what, the freestyling?
the
What
freestyle comps. They did one with Ford and they did one with BMW. Like
Oh, those. Oh, I want to see those with teams. I think that'd be cool. Like, you know,
Aren't they? Did they
Oh,
not
that
do that
could
on?
work, but it's so much harder for
Something
like a
like that,
pro
yeah.
team.
It'd be
hard to
hop
hit
in and
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pro
it's
teams
very
are
hard.
like,
you meant for
it's not the
pros?
same. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not as easy.
Even the freestylers, I think if there was 3, I think it's hard to just like.
Or if
hit a
it's 2,
shot.
but if it's 2 of them, like that'd be
Get
I don't know,
left,
something
get
No,
left,
they-
and make
they
a map
tried
for like a
that.
dribbling challenge. How about that?
They did a 2v2
Yeah.
freestyle tournament,
That'd be
right,
cool.
Johnny?
Did
think
they?
Yeah, I
did
think
one.
they did. I don't think
Yeah.
it was on RLCS, was it?
It was.
Or
It
was
was.
Oh, it wasn't.
No,
Okay,
it
I
was. It
didn't
was
know.
one of
Yeah.
those ones that Jazer hosted or MK hosted, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
and it was like super hard for anyone to hit a shot because it's like
Really?
you see all these shots in freestyle montages, they're like grinding for that shot all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I mean,
at
I
least
think-
in solo, they can actually hit them like every time. It's mad.
get
Some of these shots don't make
Constant
sense.
resets. Yeah.
I'm curious if the 1v1 freestyle, like if they did that at LAN, I wonder if anyone would like hit anything like in front of a crowd. Like that would be really hype.
That'd
Oh,
be
they
cool.
would be
Yeah,
hard.
a freestyle event in front of that'd be a
thing
good
is,
like side event, all star whatever.
It kind of
Yes,
reminds
I
me
agree.
of like I use a lot of basketball references. I don't know why, but it reminds me of the dunk contest. That they keep
Yeah,
missing.
exactly.
It kills the hype. Like if they miss like 10 in a row and they finally hit the same shot, it's like wow.
And then they need
like,
points, so they do like a basic dunk.
yeah, like something like that. You know what I mean? Like I
I
remember
think it works
what-
though. I think the freestyle
Yeah,
content like pops off on
Something,
on
something.
Rocket
Yeah,
League.
it's fun. I love it.
Freestyling in
This is
general
like
just
turning
huge
into
on
the
Rocket League.
Rocket League Olympics at this point. Like there's just
Yeah.
like so many different things you can do.
Yeah,
There
the
it
Rocket
is.
League
Dude,
Olympics.
yeah, exactly.
This game
doing
it could
air
grow
race
so
race.
much. It's just I don't know. There's a lot to do. A lot to,
Yeah, I don't even want to get into the creative.
Yeah,
part of
it's
discussion.
too much,
It's
too much.
so much. I've talked about it 100
We're
times.
taking baby steps, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, let's start with the freestyle comp at Worlds. Let's start there.
Freestyle comp. But
That's actually funny. Yeah, as Ver goes, yeah, I make a lot of basketball references. I don't know why. As he's wearing, is that an OKC?
Oh, yeah.
jersey?
Oh no.
I recently got into basketball, but like it makes sense though. Like all this stuff, like it makes sense, kind of.
I think
It
so.
costs
it'd
money
be-
though.
it'd be
That's another thing
interesting.
too.
Oh, yeah, I
It
mean,
costs
that's
a
a
lot of
given.
money
a given.
already to do what they do. So like I understand why baby steps are needed.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the All Star game though, I could be wrong, but I thought until a couple years ago, it was even hard to get like NBA players to care to even like make the All Star game entertaining because it was
That-
just like,
Yeah, but
was
that's because
like
they
a-
don't want to get hurt, right?
well, but then
That's why
they
like
made
the
they
NFL Pro
changed
Bowl suck.
They get
they
hurt.
changed the format though to where they had captains, and all of a sudden it was like the best All Star game ever because it wasn't just like, oh, you got voted, you're on a team. No, it was like LeBron and someone else using a team or something, and
Wasn't
then
it
for some
Giannis?
reason,
Durant.
yeah,
Oh,
and then that one since then they've been good, but before that,
I mean, I'm sure
I
if you put
remember-
money into it though, then people will actually try. Like, they
yeah,
won't just,
yeah,
like-
that would definitely make people try. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's like the
Uh,
NFL Pro Bowl always sucks because like
yeah.
nobody's
That
playing
thing is
because
atrocious, man.
they don't want to get hurt. So
yeah.
I mean, you can't get hurt playing Rocket League. That's a good thing. So
yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
saying. Like
I
I
When
wouldn't,
you're-
I wouldn't be too sure.
you sprain your thumb, go for a flick. I don't know. But
I've
scared.
seen Garrett when he hits a ball real hard, he slams his desk. Or
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean,
moves his
you get
feet.
some extra power from that.
Yeah.
You know?
Just imagine hitting your
Big
knee on the
move.
top of your desk or the bottom of your desk. Oof, could be an injury
done.
right there.
it could add to your I don't know the word. It could add to your accolade. I don't know. Whatever your accolades, like
Hey, you got it.
all-star winner. 2022 all-star. I don't know something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Pretty
lit.
cool.
Yeah,
Award
honestly,
well.
look, if you just slap an in-game title on there, like pros they're gonna
Oh,
queue.
there you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, they're on it now.
Now we're thinking. See, that's good. Blue title,
but-
2022
yeah, but, like,
all-star
Pink.
champ.
Are there pink titles in game? Just make it pink, and people
Yeah,
want it.
there's like the SSL ones.
Wait, SSL's pink? I thought it was white.
No,
if you win 3 of them,
yeah,
you get a pink
Oh,
one.
tournaments?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but those are kind of like meh.
Well, we just have to come up with a color that's not available.
How come they don't do like a gradient title? I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
there you go. Make it like
Or like-
a,
like
I think
something-
it's-
rainbow or gradient. Yeah,
Yeah,
anything
like,
that.
I mean,
People
like-
would be like, "Yo, I need this. I'm being all-star winner."
Yeah,
Maybe
I
like
think
an
they said
animated
before
title.
they don't do certain colors because it like looks bad on the blue and orange part
Yeah,
of the
but, like,
scoreboard or something. But
Mm.
that's bogus,
I don't
man. Bogus.
yeah,
That's bogus.
Maybe even an animated title. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much like creativity. That's what we got. Like,
animated title. That's interesting. Yeah.
that could be a
Gotta
thing.
get you on a team.
Oh, and like, isn't it like is it the
I'm ready.
the THX logo that like moves
Yeah,
side to
something.
side or something?
Have you
like
guys
that?
ever
I
played
don't know.
RuneScape where you can make your text like wavy? They should
Yeah.
do that. with.
Oh
with
yeah.
Does you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, if they start implementing like nameplate customization so that your actual nameplate above your
Yo,
car.
a license plate. That'd be cool.
License plate. No, that's actually spins.
That actually would be cool.
Oh man.
A
Is that
license
even-
plate in the back of your car.
Wait, is that
No, that's no, but that's also genius. I
Oh.
like that.
Oh.
Today,
I'm
today,
thinking, like-
they announced that new season 6 thing, and one of the cars had like a decal that was just stickers, so similar to Sticker Bomb, but it's
Yeah,
a little
that's
different.
I saw your
But,
tweet on that.
yeah, I tweeted. I was like, well, we should have stickers in Rocket League, and I know that's not a new idea. It's been bouncing around forever, but I think that'd be so sick.
That
Just
would-
like
player
orange stickers
player
or pro player
stickers.
stickers.
Bro, if I have
Bro,
Gary in my
that's-
car,
I want a Garrett C signature across my.
I want
Cross
I
my
want a
body.
I want that cut.
I want a
that
moist
cut
Rizzo
from that
sticker.
Voice Rizzo.
I get a moist Rizzo sticker.
They do
Put
that.
on my
with,
Octane.
well, it's not a sticker, but they like. I'm pretty sure when you win Worlds for League of Legends, like some of the skin, like every player gets a skin in the game, and a lot of times it has
Yeah.
their signature in their recall when
Ooh,
you
yeah.
recall back.
Yeah, it does.
That'd be cool.
I gotta get working on this,
That
bro.
was cool.
That'd be super cool.
Hey, we got
Special-
ideas. Hire us.
We're
Special
cooking.
edition.
We got
Right now.
ideas.
Hey, use anything. Let me get like a 5%, bro. Come on. Like, at least
5%.
5%.
If you use a license plate, Aspera needs
Yeah,
a cut.
at least 5%.
You need a cut.
He's more 5% is low.
Yeah. Well, no, I was gonna say good luck getting 5%. To be honest, from
Custom title.
anything in this
What
game.
was it? What's it called in COD? The banners, I think. You know how like someone help me here.
I don't know.
I don't play
COD?
COD,
Maybe
bro.
in the banners.
I wish
It
I
was
What did you
could.
say?
It's like the
Calling
banners
cards?
in
Call
COD,
sign?
I don't even know what it's called, but it's like you could customize it.
The
And, like-
emblem, like your
Yeah,
player
yeah,
emblem.
the emblem.
I don't know
Like-
if they do that anymore though. I don't think they do.
Yeah, not
But-
sure. But like in Rocket League, that could be like sort of like how it is, you know? Like I don't know.
Oh gosh, they're not gonna do that.
Where
There's
you
no
make
way.
like custom player
No,
emblems?
No,
I've
no,
seen some of those
custom license
COD.
plates. You know what I
I've
mean?
seen
I
those
don't know. Some,
COD player emblems and stuff.
Yeah, I remember
got pretty
being
bad.
13 customizing my my emblem. So
yeah, maybe you have to like submit it to like. a
Yeah,
committee
it
or
probably,
something,
yeah,
and
it
they have
probably
to
wouldn't
approve
be
it.
something that we could do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, but that license plate.
Mine was a skull smoking a joint. That was awesome. I think I saw somebody else do it, and I was like,
That-
yeah, that's
No, I
cool.
can definitely see how
The
that
YouTube tutorial, you sit there for 12 hours making an
Yeah.
emblem. I used to do that all the time.
like making
That's
a
a
meat.
that's the first generation NFTs back then.
that's right. That's
Wait,
right.
hey, that's true actually.
Yeah, Chelsea's
Oh
a
my
good one, too.
Ooh, actually, I really like that license plate thing, and not because I said it, but I think it actually be cool. No, I'm
License
for
plate
real.
would be cool.
I'm for real.
Wait,
It'd be cool.
somebody mentioned, yeah, of course, Rocket League's got flags in the game. Rizzo, you can get a flag now, right? You should get a
Well, I don't
flag.
know if they still do that. Maybe I should hit 'em up.
Surely they did like 2 like rounds of it. They did it years ago, and then they did it like
Yeah, but you said
Again.
knows what you said. You said years ago, Johnny.
I don't know how long.
Yeah, I
No, I
don't
mean they did 2. They did like the originals way back at the start of the game, and then they did it like again. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I probably
didn't get it
realized nobody
initially.
wears them.
I thought it
That's
wasn't
probably-
that long ago because Musty got one, and then like Lethamir got his.
I
don't
got
think
it at the
was-
same time as
unless-
them. It was like we
Was it
all
already
got it
year?
at one time.
Has that been
it
years
must have
ago
been.
already? Jeez.
Oh, I don't know.
Never mind.
And license plates don't cause placebo, so that's another plus.
Don't.
Ah,
You
you
ca-
don't know
hey,
that.
after somebody,
Ah, you don't know that.
somebody
Definitely.
said that.
Be like, ah, this Garrett G signature is making me feel a little heavy.
Oh
know you-
man.
There's actually players that would say that. You're right. Let me switch to a squishy one. Let me see if this one works out.
Squishy signature is the fastest side, bro.
I can already see the all caps title in the YouTube video.
And Justin
Trying to
said, just
maximize.
sat me already.
fastest license plate. I don't even know.
This license plate is insane.
Oh god. I can't stop the license plate. Oh, that's funny.
All
I'm
right,
surprised there's not or goal explosions. That's what I've always thought would be really cool.
oh
Or-
yeah,
or
yeah,
goal
definitely.
explosions.
I need that.
What do you guys think about like orgs having their home arena for like big broadcasts and
Okay,
stuff? That'd
hold on,
be
wait.
big.
Before we get into that,
Ooh.
great suggestion. I just want to say this will be the last topic, so just gonna wind it down there. But yeah, org arenas. Let's go with there.
Like, you can't go wrong with
like
that.
in game. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Oh yeah. Okay.
So you'd have like
Yeah.
you had your home field or whatever.
I think there's no negatives to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not. How would it work though?
Well,
Who gets home
I don't
field?
know. There could be a placebo there.
Actually,
about
oh wait,
org
no.
arenas.
Actually, there could be. there could be
NRG
some,
field.
maybe
I'll
some
slow on
orgs
it.
have the same color scheme, so it would be a little bit like
Are you
whack.
talking about like the paint on the field? Because I think
Yeah.
that's-
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you talking about like, is there like a home field advantage, like an energy stadium, or are you talking about
no,
one
no,
side
no,
is
no.
energy, one side is like
Yeah,
rogue
one
or
side
something?
energy, one side rogue. So it'd be
Oh.
red and
Do
blue.
they
It helps
have
the
like?
viewers too, so it's like.
Is it like the little egg people in the stands have flags with like the
Yeah.
logo?
They're wearing team
Yo!
jerseys. Yeah.
That's
Yo!
That'd be
Bro,
really sick.
Bro, you cannot go wrong with that. Like, come on.
I
So
was
like,
originally.
if one team scores as the egg fans, and one team they
They
start
go
throwing
crazy.
like
Yeah.
fruit,
They
like,
start
or
throwing
maybe
their
smaller
trash on the
eggs.
field.
Yeah, they start throwing.
They boo. They just boo.
Yeah. Like, one side just goes mad, and the other side's like just really, really sad.
Wait, that'd be a great goal explosion when you
That would
score.
be-
Like the fans throw trash onto the field or something.
Yeah,
Yo!
yeah, yeah. Start
Yo,
throwing
yo,
eggs.
look-
up
Dude,
first.
where?
Yo,
What is
yo,
this?
hold on. Yeah, what's going on here? What's
We're
going
going
on here?
crazy tonight.
Yo. Oh my god. Bro, see, all this stuff, like, that would make me want to play a lot. Like, this is cool stuff. I don't know.
I'm more motivated to score now.
Like, all these toppers, I'm sorry, I can't do it. All these toppers, these antennas, like, I don't need, nah, I can't. I don't even know, like, anyone that
But
uses
license
them.
plate.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
on.
mean, no, it's actually, like,
License plate goes hard.
you can customize it, yeah. I can see that actually, like, being a thing. For real.
Like, what would you put on your license plate? Like, would you randomize, or you just put as on the back, like as for a, like that?
Something like Big Fur, I don't know, something.
Big
Fur.
Like, something, I don't know. It's like, as long as it's like, you know,
Big
obviously
Fur.
friendly, like TOS friendly, whatever. Like, then that could work out, you know.
Big fur.
big,
I don't know.
big fur.
Oh my god.
Just get demoed by someone with that license plate.
First killer signature on the... Is the signature, like, can you put it on the car though, or is it only on the license plate? Like, what are we working with here? Because I'm
Think on the
I'm
car.
thinking like one where you could kind of place it, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like, oh, I think it's in Call of Duty where you can kind of drag it across the gun model and like put it wherever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking with like the car model, where you can just kind of drag and place it wherever you really want. I think that'd be sick.
And
me
then
get a-
CS:GO's got the stickers.
What if it was your
Yeah.
boost trail?
A signature.
Like
in
signature?
the-
Yeah,
It
How
just
would
keeps
that work?
squiggling.
Oh, the
Like in
trail. I was thinking
Cursive,
the
in
boost.
cursive. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You're
yeah. It's
writing
in
your name.
cursive. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And no. Like you don't write your name when by driving or around. I mean like the literal little sparkly trail that
The
comes
trail,
out. When
the
you...
trail on
when
your
you hit
wheels is like an
supersonic. Yeah.
animation
Oh,
of
yeah.
You're
somebody's
not writing
signature.
on the pit.
Yeah.
It'd
Because
be
they already
funny if
do
you're
that.
writing
They already
those.
make those for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Hey,
sticker
man.
idea. The org
Just like
idea, I
that-
think originally I was thinking about like a team having their own field, so like NRG field, but I like the idea of having it split, you know, like you have everybody, because then you could just keep your normal rotation, but you put like NRG egg fans on one side versus G2
Yeah.
egg fans. I think that'd be super funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they don't just like, use Buckus mod and put the org decals.
Yeah.
on
That's what
cards
I was
already.
thinking too, but maybe
I
that'd
don't
be like
understand
too
why.
different, and then they would be like, oh, viewers would be too confused on how to find this in game. You know what I mean? It's like if they're modding their own broadcasts.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that this is a problem. That every time we come up with a sick idea, we're like, "Oh no, is this too mildly
To
confusing?"
be
for,
fair
like,
though,
the viewer?
to be
What,
fair,
the org decals too confusing?
people will
No,
not be
'cause
able to
I
figure it out.
agree. I agree, and that's why I hate this because I hate that I agree, but I'm like, oh, the viewers are so dumb and it doesn't work. 'Cause they're so stupid. This amazing idea doesn't work because the viewers are too dumb.
By the way, we're not talking
No.
about you guys, chat. Not you guys in here.
Yeah,
you
not
guys are the
these.
smart ones.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah,
hardcore viewers.
I was talking about how you have like a lot of players are mad that they forced us to use like the decals for top 4. I'm surprised they don't just do that every time a team plays that has a decal. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
they
they
should
don't
I
just.
thought they did
Oh,
that.
like full force, like
No, we like at the
everybody
LAN they were
use
like,
them?
okay, top 4 is gonna use the player decals for now,
Oh,
or the org
really?
decals. Yeah, that was like some of the players Bacchus modded it themselves, so they didn't have to use it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm surprised
Oh.
they don't just do that. I mean, since it makes them money and stuff. I don't know. I was surprised. I thought they were gonna
totally
start doing
agreed.
that.
I agree.
When they released so many decals, I thought they were just gonna start doing it themselves.
Are you
but
saying like you using it on Baka's mod and like showing it, or like forcing? What do you-
making it stream side? Everyone's using the org decals, but like
Okay.
we wouldn't have to do anything. Like,
yeah,
I'm-
that's what
I
I
was just
thought they
saying.
would do as well. But then
Yeah.
people were saying, no, I like it when they don't force org decals because then I can get cool car designs and like stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
can get more creative with my designs because I see inspiration. Like they'll always find a way to argue something else.
I mean, the
so
majority of
that's fair.
people wouldn't even realize that it wasn't like us using them. I think only the people who like pay really close attention to like people's streams and stuff would know. Like I felt the casual normie would just think everyone's using them.
Yeah.
the decal anyway. So
Justin said, I never understood why they force these decals and every new decal is white. Doesn't it make it more confusing? Well, that's only the away decals, though. So, like, if you're considered the away team, then you would be the white decal.
This also confused me because I didn't know until after that happened that apparently in American sports the away team's shirts are always white. Or
I
something.
didn't know that
it's,
either.
it's,
I
it's
didn't know
usually
this.
home. I thought
What would be
usually
considered away?
away is the
lowest
team's
team?
color. I thought
Really, so home
I
is
didn't.
the white
I
one.
didn't know either.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah, I
point.
didn't know
Most orgs
this.
would want their sponsor on there, so they would want
At
you
least
to
in
use the away
football.
one. every org would want you to be away.
Oh,
so
wait,
their
that's-
sponsor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
sponsors
sure.
on
They
the
don't want to be
shirt.
away.
Didn't even
Although I
think about
imagine that there'll probably like in the future be sponsors in the home one as well. Like it seems like that would make sense to add that in if they've done the away one now. But
this has
that
felt like a
probably
trial
depends on
run
the
to
fact.
me.
They're
That's what
saying
it
Yeah,
in
seemed like.
NFL, home is white.
Yeah,
home is
yeah.
white.
Was
And
that how that
fo-
works?
in football, home is always like white and then like a
That
little
is like
bit
the
of
most
color.
perfect
Like, alternate
example of the
colors, the
viewers
away one.
being too dumb. It's like, well, how are the viewers possibly going to know which is the home team? We have to make
Oh.
them all white. Like they even had the same problem that we're having now. They're like,
Yeah,
we
even
can't
more
have
confused.
we can't even have away home and like away home teams who are using their own colors. What if somebody tunes in and they see a pink like shirt team playing against a yellow shirt team? They're gonna be like, well, I don't know what's going on, and they're gonna like turn the channel. You know, they're way ahead of us. They've already done this.
I'm just surprised that there aren't orgs stipulating that you have to use your away decal as much as possible since they paid for the sponsorship. Like that was my
Yeah.
my thing was that I would have
Yeah.
just assumed the orgs would have pressured players to wear them
I think some
because
orgs
of
do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean they're paying for the sponsorship, so like they would want people to wear them.
Well, I think the main thing is that it's just like it's actually in the game. I think that's just a big thing in general. Whether the players use it or not is minimal
Yeah.
compared to actually just having your logo in a game like that.
I mean, I don't
me.
know. I
You'd
I
obviously
still think
want
that-
the most value,
Yeah.
right? But
I think you're still paying for players to use them on broadcast though. Like I think that is part of the deal in my mind because yeah, of course, like anyone who's going to go buy the decal is going to see it as a casual player, but I mean, you also
I bet it's in the
advertisement.
contracts now, Corelli. Well, if it wasn't before, I bet it will be in the future.
Yeah.
It'll be in contracts now.
So
Curly's changing the game.
Our org
right.
tries to get us to, but they don't like force us because placebos. So they just want
you
us
guys
to-
all literally have your sponsor in the team name now too. So I mean,
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
true.
Yeah, they actually
That's
can't
true.
get away from it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I was really hoping that the away decal for NRG would be dark green because there's no dark green decal like that kind of green. And I thought that was like the color of the general, right? Or am I making this up? I swear I've seen dark
yeah.
green.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
is it- no, you guys have
it
shirts.
is. I think. I mean, I don't even know if I would get in trouble saying this, but you don't know if a sponsor's going to be there forever, and then all of a sudden your decal is dark green forever. I'm assuming it won't be available forever, but maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't help make
Maybe.
it.
I
But
think there were guidelines that the designers had to follow
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
was there?
decals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then again, G2 used like yellow. The first, is yellow even in their? Branding?
What I
Yeah.
heard
But it
is
wasn't
they have like
primary though.
they have like a championship jersey, and it has
Oh,
like
that's
a
why they were
yellow
allowed to?
yellow
Okay.
streak. So
I
I don't know if that's why they were allowed to. I didn't know if there was like rules around that, but
I don't either, actually. I don't know.
I thought you were just saying like why did they use yellow? I couldn't tell you, but what I heard is that
Yeah.
they have like a yellow streak on their championship jersey, so that's why.
That makes sense, though. I guess.
Dang.
Dang is right. With all that being said, I think that's a good time to wrap it up. I'm about to pee myself, so
Oh gosh,
Dang.
don't do that.
yeah, no, I'm gonna call it there. Appreciate
GG's.
everybody being here for the Chalked cast. Dang, chat's just saying dang. Appreciate all you guys being here for the Chalked cast. Chat, appreciate you being here. Sitting by, chilling, hanging out. It was a great show tonight. That's all I got. You guys want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There it is.
See you soon.
Bye, buddy.